Good day, this is Sean Ricketts reminding you to keep your stick on the ice.
Brought to you by Maritime Knife Supply. Good day and welcome to another episode of Forge Side Chat Podcast, a podcast about blacksmithing, bladesmithing, and everything in between, with a heavy focus on talent in the Great White North. Today, we're in the Great White North, buds. We're heading up Edmonton, Alberta, because my good buddy, Will Vick, is hanging out there. That's where he lives. That's where he runs his blacksmithing shop full-time since 2021. This dude's been doing it, man. He's actually been at it since he was about 14 years old. And this guy, I met Will at CanIron this summer. And what just the present, you bring a presence with you, dude. I could tell when I was around you, you just have this aura of, you know what the hell you're doing at the anvil, dude. Like, I could tell, man. It was just like you present that image without even seeing you at the anvil. I could just tell, man. And then when I saw you at the anvil, I was like, hell yeah, man. The 20-sided dice deal, freaking amazing. And then and speaking to you, that's kind of like your specialty, is like the smaller stuff. You knives and axes, and you do a little bit of sculpture work. You're all over the place, man. Like, you are what I look at as a true blacksmith. You do it all, man. And dude, thanks for jumping on the podcast with me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I've only recently started listening, and I've just been like binging it for the last couple of weeks here. But yeah, no, like yeah, thanks for having me on here. It's it gets my head a little big to be like, hey, you want to be on a podcast? You want to have however many people listen to what you got to say? Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Well, part of me appreciates that, because I don't really think of the podcast as being anything that's that outworldly or whatever, but I've had a few people that have said that it's, this really great thing that we're doing here at Forge Side Chat. And I get it, dude. When I've been asked to be on another podcast before, and it's kind of like this, like, whoa, like, cool. Hey, this is awesome feeling, right?
Like, feels good. Yeah, for sure.
It's a step in the right direction. And I feel like having Forge Side Chat available to the world is like a bonus for everybody in the community, the people that listen, the people that partake, right? Yeah,
absolutely. Because so many of the people you have on have so much knowledge about stuff that, like, I'm not going to be able to personally go out and ask, like, hey, do you want to have a 2-hour conversation with just any blacksmith that I've been following for a while? So being able to, like, have someone ask those questions, and pick their brains for 2 hours, it's been great. Like, just the amount of stuff I've learned, like little bits I've picked up here and there, just listening to like the handful of ones I've been able to get through in the last bit here. It's been great. Yeah.
Very rad, dude. Very rad. Yeah. It's very cool to hear that, man. I know somebody else, Tyler Dyes, actually, he just mentioned to me today, he's like, dude, you're kind of freaking YouTube. How do you have the time for this? And it's like, I don't.
Yeah.
It's a passion though, man. It's this thing that we do, and I've seen it in other people. The passion just takes a hold of you, and it overtakes your life in a way to kind of.
Oh, for sure. Like, my life is blacksmithing almost all the time nowadays, especially working for myself. Like, I work weekends. I do markets all the time. So I'll do farmers markets and Renaissance fairs, music festivals and stuff. So I can probably count on one hand how many weekends off I'm going to have this year.
Crazy.
But I also work for myself. So, like, if I can, manage to pull myself away for a day, I can just take a day off whenever I want. So it kind of eats into your life for sure. But either you got to be ready to live with that, or you got to be better at making those boundaries than I am.
You just actually spilt some very deep insight into the life of owning a business, dude. That
Yeah.
like you could tear all that apart and go really deep into what you said there, but yeah, it's learning to sacrifice things and boundaries and understanding you yourself and your personal needs and wants. Man, the idea of, you know, knowing that you can't take tomorrow off because somebody's waiting for that project.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if
Yeah.
you had a normal job, you'd have tomorrow off no matter what, right? And
Exactly.
sometimes it eats
Exactly.
at you.
And sometimes you get to do some really cool stuff because of it, and sometimes you kind of put yourself in a corner and you're like, what am I, oh, I should have charged more for this one, or well, at least it'll look good in the portfolio later on. But you kind of gotta, it's all a balance for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's that's exactly what it is a balance, man. And
Hmm.
understanding that balance is huge. Shit, man. Hey, badass, man. It's honestly this venture into owning your own business kind of idea. It's somewhat a new venture for me because it's not really what I looked at with blacksmithing when I first started. It was like, oh, this is like really accentuating my skills with welding. At what point did you feel like it kind of was like this is going to be a business for me?
That tipping point, yeah. So for me, that's a pretty clear one. So it kind of started like back in 2016. Me and three buddies, we would get together like every Sunday. We'd light the forge. We'd mess around, make some stuff, figure some stuff out. And that's when I kind of was like, okay, time to like really like dial my skills in. And then 2021, I got fired from a welding job I had, and I kind of went, if that guy can run a business, how hard can it be, really? Like, if there's businesses out there that are scraping by, and you can look at it and go, how the hell is that like 13 years of business already for that? Like when most people, if you put yourself to it, like you can figure out how to do a business. Like it's we're all just people, right? Like is we can all figure stuff out. We can all learn new skills. It's more about like having that drive. So yeah, 2021, I didn't have a job anymore, and I just the idea of working for someone else at the time, I went and did a couple of interviews and just went, you know what, time to put my eggs in my own basket instead of someone else's and see what I can do. And it definitely, you can't lift something off the ground in no time at all. Like I ended up having to have some part-time jobs
Yeah.
in there as well. Till I ended up working for Kyle at Hammer and Forge for, I think it was about a year and a half till the end of 2023. I was working for him,
He's
and that
located
was
in Edmonton as
yeah,
well, or
yeah. He's in Edmonton as well. He's been 20. He was at it for 20 years or so when I was working for him. So
oh,
23, 25, something like that. And he's amazing. He does gates, railings, big sculptural work. He does some really impressive stuff. And so
what's
I
the name
got
of
to be a
his?
part of that, which was awesome. I got to learn a lot from him, use some of the bigger equipment. He's got a press, a couple power hammers, and really like play with the big boys. And that kind of upped my game a lot.
What,
Uh,
what's what was his name again?
Kyle Walton, Hammer and Forge.
Hmm. I don't know why I don't know this gentleman.
He's so bad about getting his like he needs to show his work off hard. Like his stuff should be in magazines, not like people wondering like why haven't I heard of him. He
Crazy.
I think his name is more passed around in the circles of his clients. Like people know who he is and reach out to him
Mm.
in that world. And
Well,
then
let's be honest. When it comes to business, that's what
that's what
matters.
you need. Yeah, yeah. So he's got that dialed in. But like I think he definitely needs a spotlight shone on him in our world for sure, because the
Interesting.
stuff he's doing is just amazing.
Well, you may have gotten the spotlight drift in his direction there, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Anything I can point on him. Yeah.
Fucking right on.
Yeah, working for him was great. 2024, that's when I started working just for myself, and I've worked just for myself since the beginning of 2024.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, you when you were at CanIron this summer, you were explaining that coming to CanIron was a little bit of a task for you because not only was it the balance of taking the time off from the business, but also the investment of money as well. And it's like, man, I get that when you're running your own business, it's you're not just spending the money to go to CanIron, you're losing the money you would be making while you're at CanIron as well,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's the same for that's the same calculation I do with just about anything nowadays, honestly. Like if I'm at a market where I'm not really making a ton of money, it's like, okay, I made some money today, but if I could have made more product if I'd been in the shop that day, then I probably won't end up doing it again. Um,
Yeah.
so that's the same sort of calculation. And then like with CanIron, oh, I haven't shut up about CanIron since August, man. Like, but I went to the Gimli Icelandic Festival the weekend before, so I was already in Manitoba. I was like,
Yeah.
if I'm not, if what's the point of being my own boss if I can't approve some time off, right? So I spent a day in Winnipeg, went to the zoo with my wife, saw the polar bears, dropped her off at the airport, and she had just a nice 1 hour flight back instead of the 14-hour drive.
Mm,
And then I just camped out at the Manitoba Agricultural Museum for the extra couple days there.
yeah. Yeah. That was man, what a great venue that the guys figured
Oh
out. And
man,
I wish I would have been closer to the city in a way, but at the same time, honestly, it was perfect.
yeah, yeah, it'd be nice to be close to the city, but also being a little farther away, it really like puts us in our own like little world, right? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. CanIron was a big change for me. Like I hadn't really worked with other blacksmiths since I'd been working with Kyle. So like just about a year and a half before then. And so getting in there and getting to like just be around blacksmiths, see everyone's ideas, see everyone's work, see everyone's tools, the way their minds are working, their ideas and everything, and then be able
Yeah.
to work with them. Like I was running myself pretty ragged. I
Yeah.
was like wake up early, in bed late. Like the open forges, like I wasn't the last person to leave them any of the nights, but they were going to like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. The one night I think I got in bed at like 3 in the morning. The last night it was like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. I wasn't exactly in the best of mindset when I was at CanIron this summer. So unfortunately, you didn't get to meet the better version of me, if you will, would put it that way, I guess. But I was very, very much under the weather, I guess you could say, in
hmm,
regards to things at that point. So I had a couple people point out to me, they were like, "You don't seem like the same dude that I've gotten to know through the podcast. What's going on?" And it's like, let's not dive into that right now. I got some
yeah,
stuff going.
yeah. And no
Yeah.
one can run it. No one can run it 100% all the time. They were like, either you take a break or you're gonna be forced to take a break. So it's kind of,
Honestly, I probably should not have even been there, dude, because of where I was at with things, but I had kind of committed to being a part of it, and
hmm, hmm,
I I'm also very committed to being a part of the blacksmith community to the point where I pushed myself when I said you have to at least be there,
yeah,
let
yeah,
alone like partake in some stuff or whatever, right? So
yeah,
yeah, I pushed myself to be there, and I'm happy I did because it was awesome to number one, awesome to meet everybody that I met there, and like you said, just meeting the people you could pick up things from them, just
yeah,
talking, being around them.
for sure, for
And
sure.
then, and then watching people work too. You picked up so much from just watching people work.
Yeah, yeah, and like I know hanging out in the open forges in the evenings was that was probably one of, well, it was all great, but that was definitely one of my favorite parts because like a lot of the newer guys were in the open
Yeah,
forges, and so once I got in there, I was just like pushing them like, yeah, try something new, try something different. What are you gonna
totally.
do? Like do it wrong and fuck up? Like we all did. We all fucked stuff up. Like if you don't try it, like what better place to try it? What better place to like have someone strike for you, swing a sledgehammer for you, right? Like we all go back and we all like work in our own shops, like all by ourselves. So like when you get the chance to be around other blacksmiths, like take advantage of it.
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
I had a chunk of 1 inch wrought that Nathan had brought from
Nathan.
Vancouver
Yeah.
Island. Yeah, and I was trying to forge out a giant leaf out of it. And oh shoot, what's her name now? I just had the name, the husband and wife from Ontario.
Oh, I think they were the ones who they ended up winning first and second on that blind box challenge, didn't they? I can't
Yes,
remember their
yes,
names offhand. Yeah,
Melissa.
they
Is it Melissa?
those they had
But
some crisp forgings, that's for sure.
yeah, and they were watching me, and they were pumped too. I think she even did some striking for me, and then it got to a point where I started seeing a bit of a crack forming at the base of the leaf to the stem, and it was like, oh, there we go. There's the failure that I was kind of waiting to happen. And she's like, yeah, you can't do that with rod. I was like, yeah, I know. I just wanted to
Yeah,
fuck around
yeah,
and find out.
yeah,
And it's like, that's the time to do that stuff. Not only is everyone there totally expecting things to fail at some
yeah.
point or another. So they're like, that's going to happen. And we're all here to talk about it and figure out what it
Exactly,
was that
exactly.
caused the failure, how to avoid it.
And
Right.
how many other people got to learn from your failure too? Like, oh, so that's how far you can kind of push that wrought iron, right? Like, if someone doesn't make that mistake, learning from other people's mistakes is sometimes a lot easier than learning from your own. And again, it's all balance. Sometimes you got to learn it for yourself, and sometimes you can watch someone else. And people can't learn if they don't see things happening, right?
It's I'm laughing because I was just talking with my daughter. I believe it was last night. I mean, Emily, was that last night that I bugged you about the difference between bravery and stupidity? Yeah, that was last night.
uh,
And I mean, it's brave when you do something that, it took that extra leap to make that it could have gone really wrong, but you made it. And now you're brave because you did something that,
mhm, mhm.
it took that courage to do it. Well, maybe you didn't make it. Maybe you failed horribly. Well, now you're on the side of being stupid. But there's one more factor out of that. Somebody else already did it and somebody else already failed, and you went ahead and did it again. Oh, you're really fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I love checking that box off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sometimes having a second. Sometimes you gotta get that second opinion, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah,
weird. It's like it's so messed up how the brain can work like that. It's like it's going to fail, but you want to do it anyways, just to experience it. Maybe I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, maybe sometimes if you're doing something slightly different, it's gonna work out different. Maybe it'll fail differently, right? Like, there's always more stuff to learn. Always more stuff to learn. That's yeah. Again, that's one of the best things about CanIron is there's so much to learn there. Like I
Oh
can't
yeah,
wait for the next one.
yeah. Oh, speaking of which, you're part of the committee in Alberta that's helping out with that, or
Yes. So I ended up. I got back from CanIron, and then I think it was November when I finally made it out to a meeting at the Western Canadian Blacksmiths Guild to join up there, and then ended up joining the committee to plan for. It's going to be a ways off, but 2031 for the CanIron here in Alberta, which will
it's
be
4 years
like
from now, right?
4 or 5 years.
Five. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Three more CanIrons from now. So
yeah. So Nova Scotia has it
Nova
next.
Scotia, BC, and then Alberta. And that'll be
It's
the first time it's been back here in like 3 decades. Because I think
yeah.
the last time it was 1999. So
Wow.
before I even like, I was 6 at the time, right? Like long time ago.
Wow. Oh, you're a lot you're a lot younger than I am then, I guess. I didn't think you were that much younger than me.
Yeah, yeah, 30, gonna be turning 33 later this year. So
Oh, I got a
I
decade on you.
I got in pretty young. If you can get into this, before you're 30, like that's there's sort of a couple, like it seems like a lot of the guys who are doing it are in their 40s, 50s, 60s. There's sort of the older generation, and then there's a lot of guys who are in the sort of younger generation who are like, in the 25 sort of range and under, and they've been doing it. A lot of those young guys have been doing it like from being like 10 years old kind of thing. A lot of people are getting into it like really young nowadays, which is great to see.
Yeah.
And then there seems to be a decent number of guys in my sort of age range, but it's uh, it's interesting seeing the sort of like groupings of who's doing it.
It one of the things that um I don't want to say I have a hard time with it. That's not the right way to look at it, but I guess one of the contemplations I've made in regards to it is the fact that you can look at a 10-year-old that just picked up a hammer and you're expecting them to not be that great. But a 40-year-old guy picks up the hammer and you've got some expectations there. And when
Yeah,
they don't
yeah,
follow through on those expectations, it's like, oh shit, we got a long ways to go here.
yeah, 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 for sure. There's definitely trying new things. The older you get, like you can't stop trying new things, so you can't stop. But like the
No.
older you get, definitely from the outside, the more people expect you to know exactly what you're doing. And
It, it it does get harder as you get older too, because you your brain isn't as open to be like isn't as malleable as it is when you're a child.
hmm
Like it's so much easier for you to pick up concepts as a child and allow your brain to kind of work with those concepts. Whereas as a 40-year-old, you're like, no, that's not supposed to happen. Like it's steel. It shouldn't move like that. Right. Whereas as a
yeah,
kid,
yeah,
it's like, holy crap, it moves like clay. This is awesome. What can I
yeah,
do with
yeah, 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 yeah,
this?
for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh, so this is awesome, and you guys are like way ahead of the schedule of planning CanIron. If you're already talking about it, that's
I
amazing.
I went to CanIron and I was like, oh, so okay, so I got to do everything I can to like get more of this in my life. So, like I said, I joined the guild with a big part of that being like I wanted to help plan CanIron, but also I
Yeah,
wanted to like get in with the guild. WCBG is its 40th year this year, so it's actually the 40th anniversary is this July, and so we're going to be having a get together for that, which will be awesome.
I
Um,
don't know this, but and I'm probably wrong. But are they the oldest running group in Canada?
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, there has to be one of them has to be. I know the Western Canadian Blacksmiths Guild, I think, used to be a little larger, and then a few chapters sort of broke off. Like I think there's one
Southern
in
Alberta.
Irricana, so southern Alberta, and then there's one. I want to say it might have be in Lloyd, so it's like right at the border up
Oh,
in
interesting.
Saskatchewan there.
Yeah.
Um, which kind of makes sense. Like people don't want to drive like 6 hours, 4 hours to just to make
I've,
it to a guild meet. Like you kind of have to have that granularity.
and Alberta is not really even that big in comparison to somewhere like Ontario.
Yeah,
You know, the Ontario Artist Blacksmith Association, if you're a part of that and you live somewhere, say you live in Kenora, which is almost on the Manitoba border, and they're having a get together in Toronto, you've got a 20-hour drive to get
yeah,
to that get
yeah, yeah.
together.
You gotta move to get there
Yeah.
exactly. And for what the guild's doing, I think a lot of them meet like the one I'm in is one Saturday a month, second Saturday of the month, and so to only be out there like once and you have to drive for forever. Even some of the guys I know down in Calgary, it's like a little far for them. Like that's a 3 hour drive and then a
Yeah.
3 hour drive back at the end of the day.
Yeah. No, we're dealing with the same thing here in Manitoba. We've got a faction of our group that is located in the Brandon area, which is about 2.5 hours, 3 hours west of Winnipeg.
Mm-mm.
It's one of our favorite places to have a get together. It's out at Derek Foster's place in out by Brandon, and we travel there and back in a day. Some of us,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's a long drive.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, those long drives they add up and not everyone likes to do them. Like I have to get used to doing long drives just with the way I'm all over the place all summer. And even still like to make it out for, 6 hours or something and then have to drive back the same day
Mm-hmm.
turns it into a 12-hour day if it's a long enough drive, right? Like it adds up.
I'm pretty sure my day at Derek Foster's was something like an 18-hour day for me type thing. I
Yeah.
left at
Yeah.
like 5 o'clock in the morning to be there on time for opening Forge, and then end up not leaving there until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Get home,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
1 in the morning.
Yeah. 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 For sure. For sure.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
rough
well,
days. But hey, it's when I was younger, I'd get off of work and I'd hop in the truck and I would drive to Fernie or I would drive to Banff, and I would get there first thing in the morning, go and pick up a lift ticket and snowboard all day. By the end of the day, I was so freaking toast. But
oh
you know
yeah.
what? When you love something, you push yourself like that, right?
Yeah. When you got the passion, it's you put the work in, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And definitely this is one of the blacksmith community. No strangers to putting the work in, that's for sure. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, and I equate that to the side of business too. I've had so many people look at, well, and speak to me, I guess, about business and saying, "Oh, well, you have no idea how much time and effort it takes to run a business." It's like, dude, this is like my passion. I already know that I can spend 18 hours a day in the shop and sleep for 6 and be able to wake up and spend another 18 hours in the shop the next day. And I can literally do that 7 days a week and be happy about it. Like, you're not, you're preaching to the choir here, bud. I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's trying to attack it from, you see some people that try to attack it and not have that passion for it, that want to jump into it. Oh, I want to be a blacksmith and I want to run a business. And it's like, okay, well, like, well, doing what? What are you going to build? Oh, I just want a blacksmith and I want to run a business. But they zero ideas on, what they're going to make. People are going to tell me what to make. Well, how are people going to know to come to you in the first place, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And to like get into making certain things, like if you're not already making it, you're gonna have a hard time selling it. Like if you want to get into business and you know what you want to make, start making it. Even if for me, like I want to do some more large scale stuff. So like if I want to make a gate, I'm toying with the idea of just making like an example gate, like putting the time and putting the hours in to just have something to say like, hey, I've made gates. Look at what I can do. And then people will be able to actually go, oh, okay, this guy makes gates. I can
Have
get a hold of him for a gate. Like people know I can do some knives. People know I can do like jewelry. People sometimes will come at me with some kind of weird requests, and I've done some weird stuff before. But if you don't start doing the work you want to do, you're never gonna be able to focus on the work you want to do. Like if you make yourself a business making something that you don't like doing, you're kind of gonna stick yourself in there unless you can pry yourself out.
Yep, that's for sure. I don't know how many people bug me about making knives, and it's like, no, I don't want to start making knives because then people are going to want me to make knives.
Yeah.
No. Like, I like knives. Knives are cool. I'll make knives, but no.
Yeah.
It's not what I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
do.
As soon as you start taking commission knives, like I do the occasional knife. I don't do a ton of them. One of the problems for me with knives is like I start knives and then it'll take me forever to actually finish it. Like a lot of the knives that I've made have, had like from start to finish, it's like a year or more sometimes because I'll forge out the blade in one session and it's ready to go. And then it'll sit there unground and then I'll finally get around to grinding it and then I'll finally put a handle on it and then maybe eventually get a sheath done for it. And so I don't like to do them too often as commissions. Occasionally, when it's something like I want to get my toe in the door on a certain style of knife or something and have my learning paid for a bit. But
Yeah. It's different
also,
when somebody else asks you to do it versus when you're doing it for yourself too.
yeah, yeah, exactly. You can kind of, when you want to put the amount of effort in, and you're not with just about anything, the amount of effort you can put in when you don't have to worry about getting paid back for that time, it
Mm-hmm.
opens you up. It really frees you up, and that's one of the nice things about not doing it as a business is you can really just put the hours you want into it
Mm-hmm.
and not be going, okay, I have to wrap this up to pay the bills or set this aside and it's going to get buried under a pile of other half finished projects, just like the rest of my workbench.
No, that's for sure, dude. Oh man. Yeah, it's like I've been building myself a little bit of a power hammer lately, and
I've been watching, yeah.
yeah,
I've been,
it's a fun little project, but it's taken a lot of my time, dude.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
If I was running a business, I would not be building this thing right now. I would have just spent the money and bought one.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I've got the time right now, and it's like, you know what? Let's try this out. I want to try something here, and there's the learning process that I'm getting from it is pretty interesting. I think the thing that's really standing out to me the most about it is the amount of people that have messaged me asking me if I would build one for them or if I would sell them or if I'd even sell plans. And it's like, I have no idea what I'm doing, you guys. I can't sell
yeah,
you plans for
yeah, yeah,
this.
for
Like,
sure.
oh God. Yeah. Have you built any of your own machinery?
I am recently, like, I finally got it working, and there's going to be a lot of upgrades going into it, but I finally built myself a press. Uh,
Nice.
so and that's been a slow process as well. Like last fall, I think I bought a bunch of the components, and then over the fall or winter, I bought the steel. Then eventually, I cut it up, and then eventually, this January or February, can't remember. I finally welded it up, and now I've been like putting it together. I finally got it working and running, but I haven't even haven't even had time to use it. I think I only welded up the dies on it on last week there. I can't remember which day,
Hmm.
but finally got some dies welded up for it, and now it like I've done like once I got it running, I did one nice squish on a piece of steel just to just needed to give it a shot right before I even had dies on it. Finally
Yep.
got some dies made and like again just heated up a piece of rebar and squished like one heat on it because like it's going to be a little bit of it'll be interesting to see what I can kind of slot it in with the smaller work I do. But it's definitely going to save me a lot of headache on the larger stuff, being
Yeah.
able to like draw out like big material by hand or square stuff up under it. It'll be awesome for that kind of stuff.
I'm actually very like I lean on my press a lot, dude.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. If I think the once I get the power hammers all set up and everything, I'll still probably lean on the hydraulic press a lot for certain things, but
Hmm.
I personally believe that you will find it useful for a lot of small things as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Once you start to learn how to use it, you
And
can put, like,
once I get it
kitchen.
off the floor, that'll be a big one too.
uh, it's interesting. I think about stuff like that. I started building a tire hammer 6 years ago, probably 5 years ago, at least. Got it to a point where I put a pillar and an anvil, welded them together, and started looking at building the tire mechanism. And as I was looking at building the tire mechanism, I came to the conclusion that running a tire hammer in my old shop just wasn't a feasible option. So I sidelined the project, and it's kind of like been one of those projects, just like, well, I'll get back to it, and I'll work on it here a little bit there and a little bit there. I finally ordered springs for it, and I literally got the plan sitting right here beside my computer
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm looking at and deciphering, okay, this is what I got to do. But for whatever reason, it's like, once I start putting the effort in, boom, I'll slam it and I'll get it done. But you got to get that want to put in the effort for it. So, and I don't
And
know what
then
it is about me some days, but no, I want to do something else instead.
I know the feeling. I know the feeling. Sometimes it's like, hey, I got this big list of stuff that I need to get done right away. I think I'm going to play with copper today. Yeah,
You're like
yeah.
ADHD or what, eh?
Oh, haven't been diagnosed, but
Don't think
pretty
I need to
sure.
be.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think there's something
I'm
about blacksmithing that kind of draws us in.
totally
Yeah,
100%. It's like it's a seemingly regular thing amongst blacksmiths.
yeah, yeah. I don't know a lot of blacksmiths that I don't at least suspect. Like yeah, something about like when you got like a bunch of like when you got a bunch of irons in the fire and you can just cycle through and like pull one out, work it, you got the next one ready. Like there's no stop. You just blast once you get into that mode. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
get so much work done like that, and it's just feels great. And
Yeah.
then there's some days where it's like sitting inside. It's like fuck, I better finish this coffee and get out there and actually get out there and then I pour myself another coffee instead, and it's like, okay, I got to finish this coffee and get out there and get
I'm
stuck
not
in that
alone
kind
then.
yeah,
I'm with you there, buddy. Fuck. Yeah, it's you know, a lot of what I've picked up in recent years. Like, I've been studying philosophy like crazy in the last 10 years probably,
hmm
and psychology and business mindset and stuff like that is a lot of what I've been really studying a lot lately. And man, being disciplined is like the number one way to be ahead in every aspect about everything in life. And it seems to me to be the number one thing that the majority of people struggle with, including me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know for me, that's like a definitely a big one is like just getting that ball rolling and like being able to like once the ball's rolling, like I can work fucking all night. Like that's
Yep.
fine. It's just
In fact,
getting it moving.
and sometimes to my detriment, I'll work all night because I
Yeah,
get
yeah,
sucked into
yeah.
it.
Oh, I'm a night owl. I'm more likely to be out in the shop at 2 in the morning than I am to be in there at 8 a.m. Like,
Ah, we're alike so much on
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
Are you married?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How's your wife feel about that?
It's been great. She's been like a huge support through this whole thing. Like, I think.
Can she call my wife and have a conversation? You guys got kids?
No kids yet, which is part of why I can just pour so much of my time into this. Is I don't have to like we got the pets, but like
Yeah,
they'll
they take care of themselves for the
yeah,
most
yeah,
part.
they don't need me to come and like pets aren't kids. They're
No,
about as close as it gets, but don't need quite as much time, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, my kid's homesick from school today,
Mm,
and she was like, "Well, Dad, what are you going to be doing today? You going to go in the shop?" And it's like, I don't know. Are you going to be okay if I go in the shop? I don't want to be in the house by myself.
yeah,
And Mom's at work today, so all right, hang
yeah,
out with you in the house. I
yeah,
get it.
yeah, 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 exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, no, my wife's been super helpful through this. She's an artist as well, so she's got a regular job as well as she does markets with me as well. So a lot of times we'll be like sharing a booth at a market, and she's kind of scaled back just to there's certain markets she'll do, and she won't doesn't try and stretch herself too thin. Whereas for me, like I got something going on every weekend, but no, she's been like incredibly supportive with this. Like she's found so many of the best markets for me.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and that's again some of the stuff that I struggle with is like I can spend 10 hours out in the shop no problem, but like as soon as it's like working on the computer and like finding stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not where I shine.
Totally, dude. I'm so with you on that. And I've had conversations with my wife before about like she runs her own business. She has a maid service business that she runs, or
Oh
cleaning
yeah,
service.
yeah, okay,
She's very busy with it, but she has her struggles with it too, because it's hard finding good, solid employees in that business sector. These are,
yeah,
people that, it's not a super serious career kind of thing that people want to do for the rest of their lives. So it becomes a bit of a difficulty in that respect of finding employees on a regular basis, and having to work with that. But I've tried talking to her. It's like, dude, I bet you, I can almost guarantee you that if me and you work together, like on either aspect, we would blossom so much more. Like if I gave up
yeah,
what I did on the side and worked with you and helped you grow what you do, it would probably go so much further. Or if you gave up what you did and helped me do what I do, it would just explode, right? But
yeah, yeah, for sure.
neither of us wants to diverge.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
Yeah. Oh, you're lucky you got that your wife working. What does she do for an artist?
She does a lot of printmaking, so lino cut prints. So she'll carve the block and printing. So she'll do like she does a lot of like clothing upcycling as well. So that's what she's into right now. Our living room is more looks kind of like a thrift store at the moment. While she's got piles of this one's going to get patches, this one's getting printed on directly, and
Huh.
sells that at festivals. And then she
Right
also
on.
sells the prints directly as well. And she has some cyanotype printing too, which is like a photoreactive chemical.
Huh.
Super cool. It's the original blueprinting process. That's why the prints were blue, is because they'd use a transparent master, and then they'd prep a piece of paper with the cyanotype chemical, put the master over top, and wherever those black lines on the master are blocking the light out, it'll leave white on the paper, and the UV light turns the rest of the chemical blue. And so from a master, you can make as many copies of that print as you want. And so she'll
Shit.
do the same thing with the photos she's taken. She'll make a transparent negative and print that photo. And so you get this super cool, like monochrome blue
Oh,
effect out of it.
crazy.
Super cool
Sh-
medium.
Does she have a Instagram account?
Yeah, Arachne's Web 2022.
Cool. Right
Yeah.
on. Go and give her a follow, everybody. Check this stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, Amp up our community, right? That's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I don't know if this is a good time. I think it's a good time. Auntie, are you there? Oh, is it time? Tell me about your tools. Oh, wait, tool. Tools. Tell me about your
Oh,
tools.
yeah, yeah. I guess let's start with the shop. I'm in a two-car garage. I've got the one bay is workspace, and the other one's mostly storage. Got material storage and bunch of just, you know how it is. But I mostly, up until getting my press here, everything I do by hand. And so that press is going to help out with that. I've got an anvil that I made, finished it back in 2018. It's about 240 pounds.
Slick. How did you make an anvil, dude?
So I started out with a piece of 4140 4-inch square. And so that's the top. I sliced the end off of it, spaced it out an inch, and put a couple guides in there, filled those gaps with weld, and that's how I made the hardy hole.
Crazy.
So I got a 1-inch hardy hole in the back. Built up some pieces around for the horn, and then I had some slices of 1.5-inch plate that I built up the sort of waist and the base of the anvil, and then I ended up throwing up a block on there as an upset block, just add some more weight on there. All the welds are like I spaced everything out 1/2 inch and just filled every joint with weld. So it's like 100% penetration. The base for it is about 180 pounds, I think is what I worked it out to. It might be 120. I can't. It's been a while since I figured that out, but it's a piece of 1-inch plate, and the 3 legs are 3/8 thick 4x8 HSS. So they're like some sturdy stuff. Like the whole thing over 300 pounds altogether. And I finally last fall maybe finally screwed it down to the ground so it doesn't slide down. I had a little bit of slope in the garage, so slides a bit. Not anymore. That's been great. Yeah, that thing's been great. I've actually had the top for it since I was 14. My dad worked at the one shop, and they had a piece of scrap, 4140, 4-inch long, or 4-inch square, and that first time I tried it when I was 14, he took that piece, welded a waist to it. We put it on I think it was a set of like stairs from the work on the big rigs at the shop there. And so like it was just bouncing like hell. We had to like clamp it down so it wouldn't fall off. Threw some railroad spikes and like a brake drum to full of charcoal and burnt the hell out of them because we were using the compressor from the shop to supply air. Yeah, great time. And like I was hooked on it before, but there was no coming back after that.
Yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Well, that took me down a different route of questions I was going to ask you afterwards. But let's get back let's go back to the shop.
Back to back to the shop here. Yeah, so I got honestly, my shop's nothing crazy. I've got my anvil. I've got a couple other smaller anvils in there. I recently picked up like a 66-pound Vivor London pattern that I have set up nice and low, and that's what I do. I bought that specifically because I do so many dice that stamping them at my other anvil sitting down in front of it, it just wasn't good for my elbow. Like it was just too high. So I set it on a stump that I had sitting around, picked it up, set it out there. I got to flatten it out because it's at a bit of an angle, but already, like I said, I go through so many dice that like stamping numbers in, like I needed something at the right height. I got about 15 amps to the whole garage. So I have gotten away with using not a ton of power. I've just got the 2x42 belt sander from Princess Auto, and that thing's been great for me. The hardest part is finding belts for it that aren't crap. So every once in a while, I have to just do an online order for them.
Check out Skookum Tools.
Skookum Tools, hey? Yeah.
They're out of Burnaby, BC.
Okay.
Actually, they'll custom make belts for you if you want.
Yeah, hey? Okay. Cool.
I think if you talk to Lawrence at Maritime, he can get custom belts as well. And I think there's a guy actually close to you. I can't remember what his business name is, but I think he can do custom belts as well.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be great.
I should have brought up Skookum Tools. Lawrence is going to be like, "What the fuck, man?" I have no affiliation with Skookum whatsoever. The only reason I brought them up is I was like the very first place I ever bought. This is before even Lawrence had a company that I bought.
Oh
belts.
yeah, cool. Yeah. Otherwise, the forge I built my own gas forge years ago. Me and some buddies did. I've got my own charcoal forge I built. Now I use coal. Finally, someone found someone. I joined the blacksmiths guild. One of the blacksmiths was like, "Here's where you find the good coal." So I was like, "Okay, cool." That's because CanIron was the first time I'd really used coal that was like good coal and worth using. So it was like that was an eye opener for me. Is like, oh, this is actually easy and like real. Like I do all my forge welding in the solid fuel forge, so I was using charcoal before. And before, when I do a batch of fire pokers, because I always forge weld the ends of them, I would go through like a half a bag or a whole bag of charcoal just to do like a few of them. Now I'm not even going through half a bucket of coal to do that, and it's been great. But yeah, nowadays for gas forge, I've just got a little not Princess Auto. I got it on Amazon. It was $100, and I love it. I want to say Act True or something is the brand name. It's like some made in China little gas forge. Has a door on each end, which is great. So I can close it up most of the time, open it up for the long stuff, and I can, with the one burner version of it, I can crank it up and forge weld in it.
There you go.
I don't, because the first one I got, I melted all the insulation in the bottom with the flux. So I got the coal for that. And then like I said, I got about 15 amps in the garage. So for a welder, I've got a little Power Fist 75 amp stick welder, and I can run about half a rod at a time. So any of the big welding I got to do, a buddy of mine's a welder, and he's got a machine in his garage. So
how far is your shop from your house?
About 12 steps. My shop, yeah. Dude. Just in the garage, yeah. I'm in the city, so
let me run a recommendation to you if I could. Build yourself a extension cord for your dryer plug and run it out the window.
That's something that I think is gonna have to happen, especially now that I've got the press. Because right now I've got the press on a 1 horsepower motor that I just had already. Like I wanted to get the press like working, and I wanted to be able to upgrade it in the future as required. And I think that's going to be required really quick, because like I've got pressure, but I'm not speed. Even close to hitting the pressures I want to be hitting on this press yet. Like I think it'll be useful as is, but as soon as I get more power, which I think is something I'll trying to get some more power this year. My dad's got some heavy duty cord that we're going to try and run from like you said, plug into the dryer outlet, or if we've got some space in the breaker box, we'll figure something out. And
if you got space in the breaker box, then for sure. But the dryer outlet, I know lots of other people that have done that. It's a quick temporary fix type thing to get you extra power. Yeah. So your wife might not be too happy because she can't do laundry, but
hey,
or maybe you do the laundry. Sorry, I didn't mean to put it like that. I don't take it the wrong way.
I can't complain if I'm making money with the power outlet anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's that. I just had to do a massive power upgrade at my shop this summer, and it cost me like $20,000, dude.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah. It ain't cheap to run power like that. I know. When I was in there talking to the guy at Princess Auto about my kind of limitations, he was like, "Well, you could always try like a 5 horsepower gas engine to run your press off of." And I was like, "Fuck! If I was out in the middle of nowhere, I think that's probably how I would have done it if I didn't have power."
I'm pretty sure that Steve Cornelison from Bad Llama Forge, I'm pretty sure he runs his press off of a gas engine.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
I think it's a 25 horsepower gas engine, not a 5 horsepower, but
yeah, a little more push on there.
Yeah, for because sure. a gas engine is only going to give you half of the horsepower that an electric engine is going to give you.
Oh, interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So it says
Huh.
5 horsepower, but the output in comparison to what an electric engine is going to give you, or an electric motor. Yeah. So
Only going to
you
be
need
two and a half.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'd only be 2.5
Interesting.
in
Interesting.
comparison. That's
Huh.
don't take that as science knowledge on my behalf. It's just what I've heard. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know. Please tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. But that's what I've heard from multiple people. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see it. Like gas engines are, well, there's a reason just about any piece of industrial equipment's run off a electric motor,
yeah,
and
well,
it's
constant torque, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
Yeah, so at some point soon here, I'm gonna have to upgrade for the press is the biggest thing. Like I can get away with, especially the kind of work I do, I can get away with like, oh, weld a half rod, wait a
mhm.
bit, weld a half rod, wait a bit. Like I can manage with that at the moment. It's gonna be just that once I have that press, I've put enough money into building the press and getting it ready to go that if I have to put a little more into getting power for it and upgrading that motor and pump to the limits of what I can get here, so be it. I built it with expansion in mind. Like I wanted something where like the frame's going to be able to handle way more than what I've got it hooked up for right now. Because I think right now, uh, the pressures I'm getting, I think I'm getting about 4 or 5 tons. I gotta figure it out and play around with the thing a bit more. But like on a 1 horse motor with the smallest pump I could get at Princess Auto, it's not it's not a beast of a machine at the moment.
Mhm.
But once because the other thing is like I'm renting this place. Like I can't
Mm,
permanently do too
there
much
you
to it, so
go.
I gotta
So there you go. The extension cord from the dryer outlet is the way to
exactly
go.
exactly that'll be it. And then eventually the plan is blast out a bunch of product, buy a place with a shop, and
Yeah,
you know turn it into my dream shop.
yeah.
And that's
And not to take away from the shop stuff because I like want to know more about your shop setup. There's a side to me that just I want to point out something that I think is really important about what you're portraying here that I think a lot of people overlook it. I know a few other people that are in a similar boat to you that have limited space, limited power, that is keeping them at bay per se with what they're creating. You know, like you don't have the options of welding up some grandiose, huge railing project for somebody in the shop you're in right now, right? You would
mm-hmm,
love to, but there's limiting factors to that. The thing about that, though, is that because you have limiting factors that aren't allowing you to do these grandiose things, number one, your brain isn't even considering that, hey, let's put time and effort in my brain towards something like that because there's no point. I can't. I've got to stick to what I've got to stick to. So now your brain is focused more on the things that you need to focus on. And it's giving you the ability to like actually hone in on specific products versus this idea of like, well, I can just build anything because I have the shop to build anything, right? It's like, no,
mm-hmm,
my
mm-hmm.
shop is specifically set up for building specific items and I've mastered those items because that's what my shop is set up for. And what you've brought up just recently here with the idea of buying the smaller Beaver anvil and placing it lower, that's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about is like you have a product that you specialize in. You understood that there was a way to advance your skills in making that better or giving you the opportunity to make it work better for you in the long run, and it was like this is the route that I need to go down because this is my product that's making me money. This is where I need to invest some extra money to make it worthwhile, right? And investing in a big shop means that you're investing into a larger into larger items then at that point. But if you're not doing the larger items, or, if you're running a good business already off of the smaller items, is there any worry to making the larger shop? Maybe this small shop is all you need, and you just need to focus on finding some new smaller items that can just add to your list of what you do, type thing. I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you want to do. I'm pointing this out for the fact that there's some people out there that they've got a small shop and that's all they're going to have for the rest of their lives, just because that's what life has given them. They've come to
Yeah.
accept that this is just a hobby for me. I'm not trying to make a ton of money. I've got a small shed that I can work out of. Dude, perfect. Set up that small little shed with a forge, an anvil, maybe a small swage block, couple hammers, couple tongs, and make some small stuff. Have fun. Make some fire pokers, make some barbecue flippers, whatever, right? You don't This idea that I don't know how many people have bugged me about, like, oh, your shop is so amazing, it's so big and blah blah blah. It's like, honestly, I think I was probably making more stuff out of my smaller shop than I am out of my bigger shop, because in the big
Mhm.
shop I'm spending more time organizing things and setting things up than I am actually building stuff. I
For
mean,
sure.
right
Yeah.
now,
That's a bunch of super great points there. Yeah, for sure. Even for me, like once I buy a shop, like I want to buy a house anyway. So if I'm buying a house, I might as well buy a house with a shop
definitely.
attached. Is that's my big thing. And like you said, for me, like I don't need like a massive shop. If I do the occasional big project, and I have to set up under a tarp or something in front of the shop, so be it. Like I don't need something like you said. I don't need something huge. As much as I'd love something where 25-foot ceilings, 3 bays, huge monster of ability.
Oh,
Like
dreams.
yeah. I don't need that, right? Like right now, I'm working effectively. My workspace, where almost everything happens, is about as wide as the garage door, and 5-10 feet back. Like I've got some other space. Like I've got my belt sander just a little farther into the shop, and my drill press set up and a little farther in. Some of the tools over there, power tools there. Um, but oh, if I can remember his name off the top, he goes by the Sooty Raven on Instagram. He was at CanIron, and his shop is a little cinder block box. It's super tiny. He makes knives out of it. He could basically sit on his anvil, pull a knife out of the forge, and run it through his little giant without having to stand up. And if he wants to use the anvil, he has to stand up and turn around. Like he's in maybe like a fucking, like he's less than 10 by 10. Like he's in a small space, and he's doing kitchen knives out of it. And like there's guys, I've seen guys out there who are making a living without a single, like the only power tools they have are angle grinders and maybe a belt grinder, right? Like if you want to dial in for something and tool up for it and make it work within your space, you can get it going. Like here in Edmonton, Sean Cunningham, Front Step Forge, he started working on his front step. Like he didn't even have a space. He was just like, wheel it all out there, get going, and go from there. Like,
Keith Boyle.
yeah, there we go. Keith Boyle. Yeah.
I
Yeah, he's
I
out
can't
of
stand no.
Saskatoon.
Yeah, he's out of Saskatoon. The Sooty Raven Forge. I tried looking up the Sooty Raven on Instagram and it's not bringing it up.
But yeah,
But
Sooty Raven Forge. There we go. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah, I've seen some videos from in his shop on his Instagram there, and it's he's got enough space for the camera, and then him like packed in between his anvil, his forge, and his hammer, and
crazy.
he's making it work. But, like you don't need to have too much. You need what you need to make what you want to make, and if you end up with too much else, then there's only so much you can do in a day, and only so much you can do in a lifetime, and you gotta kind of figure out what you want to do, and that's a hard part.
Yes, that is very true. Um, it's just something that I've kind of dove into recently a little bit through some of the education that I've given myself. Um, it's so much easier to run a business when you find your focal points.
Yeah.
You know, if you can find those few items that you really lean on, that you know are good sellers. I mean, it's a matter of doing market evaluation, right? You might not know right off the hop that it's a good item until you've made it and sold a few. You gotta do some um, research and development. So,
Exactly. Took me a
um,
couple of years to dial in what I focus on making.
totally. And you can even take this idea to the power hammer I'm building right now. I gonna have a few years of dialing it in probably before I'm like super
Hmm.
happy that this is an item that I've built that I'm happy with.
Yeah.
And it literally can go to anything, even food. Oh, yeah, I have this dish that I really like, but it's taking me like 10 years to really dial it in to make it the
Yeah.
dish that
Yeah.
it is today, right?
For
Well,
sure.
could have taken you 10 years to ruin it too. It can go both ways, right? Do you
Yeah.
have a swage block, dude?
Nope. That's something that I want to make myself. I've got like a little sort of 1 inch piece of 1 inch plate that I cut some V's into and cut out some circles with a hole saw and cut some half rounds into. But it doesn't really get much use, being, seeing as it's only an inch wide. Um,
Hmm.
for swages, most of the time, I don't use a lot of swages. What I do end up using a lot, though, is the one I made where I took a piece of flat bar. It was 3/4 by 1.5 or so. And I saw this on a Black Bear Forge YouTube video. He basically set down the one side of it and made that. If you have the right size material, he made it 1 by 1. That's what I did as well. Turned it on a 90, and then I set my 3/8 half-inch, a V swage, and a 1 inch round swage, and then two like half sphere swages, little guys, 3/8 and a half-inch, all just on one piece, so it sits right on the anvil. Um, and when I need something,
Does it lock
that's
into the
what I use.
hardy?
It doesn't lock in, just sits in. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
kind of L shaped. So the hardy stem is just off on the one side, and it goes right over into the center of the anvil.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I want to make myself a couple deeper swages, but it's not something I need a lot in my day to day work. That's something
Mhm.
like the one of the swages I want to make myself is a nice 60-degree V for like forge welding, like bundles of stuff together. Uh,
Definitely. And this is why I asked, is because I have this funny feeling that you don't need a big swage block in your shop for what you do. You
no,
need specific swages to the jobs you do.
yeah, yeah. I think honestly, the things that I might use the most on a swage block is occasionally using the swages on the edges, but the big slots on it, I think would be for hot punching stuff and drifting stuff out. I think that's what I'd use it the most for, is for drifting stuff out. Because like when I make a smaller hammer, my hammer eye drift will actually just barely fit through my hardy
Mm,
hole, as long as I have the edges trimmed. So like I can work over the hardy hole. I can work like I'll just spread out my vise to the right, my post vise to the right distance, and work over the supporting the edges on that sometimes.
yeah,
But having a selection of like slot uh, slotted bolsters would be great. But
definitely.
again, that's something like I could make out of flat bar, right? Like fabricate some
And in
tubes
my
out of flat
personal
bar.
opinion, those are the tools that you need to make for yourself, because you want them to be personalized to your work.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
if 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 Lawrence was selling hammer bolsters that were all the same, then everyone's making the same hammers. And by all
Yeah,
means,
yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead and but that's you want your hammer, right?
exactly, exactly. I have a particular style I like to. There's a few different styles I've played around with. I haven't made a ton of hammers. I think maybe was it three or four hammers? Not a ton. And they've all been like sort of fairly specific ones. Like I made a Viking style cross peen, which
Nice.
I loved the hell out of that thing. But I did it in that old school way where like you take a if I'd had a chunk of wrought iron at the time, I would have used it. But I did a mild steel body with a spring steel face and a spring steel peen,
Nice.
and forge welded it together. And then the one day last summer, I was just gently tapping something, and the face popped off. I was like, "Oh,
Uh,
there we are." But
well,
forge welding, it ain't
if
easy.
if you were to um, dissect what happened there, what do you what's your thoughts on that?
I
I'll give you my
think
thoughts.
I think it was surface prep on the weld surfaces. I
Okay.
think I had a little pocket right in the center of the face, and because there's a little bit in there where it's like I can kind of see it looks like it wasn't welded in there. It
Gotcha.
was welded more around the edges, and
Okay.
then I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit of just from use, like the mild steel and the spring steel moved at different rates from the
Yeah.
impact and kind of eventually let go. But
Yeah. Um, I think that last part has probably got a lot to do with it. My understanding is spring steel's not a huge fan of being forge welded. I don't
yeah,
know how
hey,
much experience you have with spring steel in that regards, but um, and mild steel, from my understanding, don't take this again. This is just from what I've heard. Mild steel doesn't like to forge weld all that well either. It's
I've I've heard that a lot as well, and like thing is like mild steel is almost all of what I weld is mild steel
yeah.
nowadays. So like went forge weld anyway, but yeah, like
Do
uh,
you use specific flux, or are you just using
just
borax?
borax. Yeah, I want to try out some of the fluxes. People have recommended several to me, but
Yeah, those magic
like
fluxes are insane, dude.
first forge weld I ever did was just mild steel, and I welded it up no flux. So like
Oh yeah, there you go.
it's possible to do as long as you keep
Yeah.
everything clean. Um, and you get good practice in there. I think now that I've moved from charcoal into coal, I might have a little easier time because I find with charcoal you have to have a lot of air going through to get forge welding temps, and the
Hmm.
coal I find is a lot less air to get the same. Um,
Yeah.
and the less extra air you have in there, the less free oxygen you have, the better your surfaces are going to be, the less they're going to scale up when you're trying to forge weld on them.
Well, the nice thing about coal versus charcoal, well, two things that I can bring up is it sparks a lot less,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
especially
yeah.
when you're trying to forge weld. But with coal, you can bring it up to temperature and then relax on your blower a bunch to do your forge
Yeah.
weld. You're
Yeah.
not
I've
doing it
kind
with
of
charcoal.
kind of found that a bit as well. I know for me, my blower is a hair dryer with a dimmer switch wired into an extension cord to control the flow, and that's been great for me.
That's awesome, dude.
I try not to use it in the rain because I've definitely gotten a couple tingles off of it. But
It's outside then, obviously.
yeah, yeah, and I'll take the tape off the hair dryer and bring that inside when I'm done. Just because I don't use it all the time, but like back when I was like a teenager and in my early 20s, there, like my forge sat at my buddy's place with the hair dryer taped to it year round, and we'd show up and be like, "Wow, we haven't used this all winter." Plug it in, no problem. Like, what the hell's up with this hair dryer? It just keeps going, but that one
That's
eventually did die. Took a while. Took a while. I think eventually what happened is the like some of the wires like corroded right through inside of it, and so then it was like that was it. It was done. But
uh, That's like that, dude. You are really painting a picture for me, and I hope for the crowd as well, that it doesn't take a crazy amount of investment to make this a business, to make it something fruitful.
Yeah. If you can dial in like a few things, especially like if you're not trying to go full time with it right away, like dial in a couple things that you want to be selling. Find a market to sell it, like whether that's online or for me, like almost all of what I do is in person sales. Um,
Do you have a website?
I have a website. I haven't really fleshed it out. Just went through a Square, through the Square for the websites because they have a pretty simple one. It's easy to set up a shop on there because that's their business is setting up for payments. Um, but I used to be on Etsy and I kind of pulled everything off of there just because I was getting like a handful of sales a year kind of thing. I never leaned into it a lot and it wasn't really adding anything for me anymore.
Mhm.
For some guys, I'm sure Etsy is like where they're making a ton of their sales, but like I, yeah, I
I've heard that
gave
Etsy's
up on it.
I've
Yeah,
it's yeah, it's
I've
not what
made
it
more
used.
sales on Facebook Marketplace than on Etsy.
It's crazy. How do you
Yeah.
how do you advert? I want. I keep on asking you questions and not going back to the. There was a question I wanted to ask you a while ago when you're talking
Yeah.
about the hammers. Actually, not even a question. I just want to bring this up for everybody that the hammers, making hammers, it's not an easy thing. It's difficult. Everybody wants to have a nice hammer. Well, there's a few gentlemen in our community that make amazing hammers, but there's a
Hmm.
specific gentleman that I've been talking to a lot lately. That gentleman's name is Paul Kindred. Paul Kindred makes some of the most absolutely amazing hammers you can get your hands on, you guys. He's from northern British Columbia. So he's a true hoser, true freaking, true north. This guy is putting in the effort, the elbow grease to be making hammers for anybody and anybody that wants a hammer. And dude, when you get one of his hammers, you will be so impressed by the build quality. Just everything about these hammers just screams yes. And if you
Nice.
want to get one of his hammers, reach out to
I
Paul
don't.
King.
I'm actually writing his name down right now. I did just. I think I followed him on Instagram like yesterday there. Uh,
Crazy.
but I didn't know. I hadn't like looked through much yet to see like what he does. But like everyone wants a nice hammer. Like having a nice hammer to work with. Like you're gonna like I want nice tools, right? Like we all want nice tools. We all want to have like a nice Cadillac in our hand rather than, just like that junk from Princess Auto or
Yep.
whatever.
Oh, it makes a big difference. You go to Princess Auto and you buy one of their cross peen engineer hammers or whatever, and they're all right. But now
Well,
when you get a proper blacksmith hammer from Kindred Forge and Tool, you can't go wrong. You
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, for sure. I know. I'm sure I'm not the only one. I bet you a lot of people have a hammer from Sean Cunningham. He's been making them for a long time, and that's my daily driver is a Viking style cross peen from him.
yeah,
Um,
man.
and like you never have too many hammers. I know one thing I've started doing is just like anytime I'm at a garage sale is like just give me all the hammers. I'll go in and like buy as many of them as I can, and then refurb some of them. Some of them end up just getting chucked under the bench, and I'll one day maybe I'll reshape the faces on it, throw on the forge, do something with it, or maybe you know we're all pack
There's
rats.
there's lots of really awesome projects you can do with hammers. Ball peen hammers can be turned into little axes super easy.
Yeah, yeah,
And it saves you from having to worry about doing any of the drifting or forming of the faces or anything like that. Like really, all you have to do is take that one side of the hammer and spread it out into an
spread
axe
it out.
face.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Claw hammer. a claw hammer can easily be changed into a hummingbird or different types of birds
Yeah,
for
yeah.
um,
Absolutely, yeah.
a club style hammer. You can easily take an angle grinder to a club style hammer. I don't know what the proper term is, like a sledgehammer or whatever, like just a square
Yeah,
body. You can
turn
take
it
a
into a
grinder
rounding
to them,
hammer.
turn it into a rounding hammer. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can turn it into anything you want.
yeah.
Really. Turn
And
it into a double angle cross peen for all you want. But you know what's a lot easier is just reaching out to Paul Kindred and getting him to make you.
You're gonna get something way nicer. I know.
Oh, way nicer,
Recently,
dude.
I've been using like a 4 pound
That's
mini
big hammer.
sledge I got from Princess Auto, and I carved. You don't actually when you're turning a sledge into a crossbeam, you don't got to bring it down super steep like a regular crossbeam. You're only hitting with just the end. So if you cut off just a little bit, that'll save you a lot of time with the grinder. But I turned
Yeah.
that into a crossbeam, and I've been using that for spreading out a piece of wrought iron lately, and it's just been like, fuck, I could use like a one of those double peens where it's cross peen on one side, straight peen on the other. So I think that'll become one of those eventually. But maybe yeah, maybe after I make a bunch of money this summer, I'll have to look into getting some more hammers, some more nice
Dude,
hammers.
I don't think I've ever seen a hammer that's straight on one side and cross on the other.
I
I can't say I've ever seen that. I've seen like
one of the
double angle where it's
Yeah,
like,
I've seen there's lots of people with a double angled cross peens. I've used an angled cross peen for about 5 minutes, and it wasn't long enough for me to get used to it. Um, but for a regular, for like just a straight peen and a cross peen, one on each side, for certain things that'd make
could actually
the
be
way
pretty
I
rad.
work, that'd make things really handy. I know Scott Quinnell, he's one of the guys at the Western Canadian Blacksmiths Guild here. He has a couple of hammers that he's done that too, where he has like a fairly uh, gentle curve to it, like a very broad cross peen, and he uses those for drawing. One side's cross peen, one side's a straight peen, and he'll use that for like when he's just drawing material out.
That sounds super rad. I don't know why that's kind of not more of a popular hammer design in a way. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I
And
like it.
sometime I want to play around with the double diagonal peens just to check them out a little more.
Yeah.
But I'm so used to working with a cross peen that I was like, well, I might as well get a straight peen, and that'll put me in the same sort of
Hmm.
angles as I'm used to.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't go
Yeah,
wrong with a good peen hammer, man. That's
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. And by all means, if you guys are looking for anything blacksmith related, knife making related, Maritime Knife Supply is your place to go. MaritimeKnifeSupply.ca or .com. The fastest shipping you're going to find from any knife related company. That's Lawrence is putting out the work to get you guys everything you need. If he doesn't have it on his website, reach out to him because he can probably get it for you if it's not listed on his website. He's got discounted items on there on a regular basis. Make sure you check out his discounted area, and yeah, man, order yourself some swag. Get yourself one of these nice hats. I'd say order this hoodie, but this isn't from the from Maritime. This is from the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild.
Yeah.
You gotta be part of us to get one of those. So sorry, but he has amazing Maritime Knife Supply hoodies, black. Absolutely love them. Mine's trashed because it got stuck in the angle grinder the other day. So it seems like a very normal thing for me to wrap my angle grinder up. It's either a wire wheel or it's a paint stripping disc, and it catches the sweater and just binds up in there. It's probably why my
I
angle grinder burnt out, actually.
Years and years ago, I was watching someone, young apprentice, with an angle grinder. He had a buffing wheel on there, and he got a little too close to his sweater and went, poof, and then ripped a section all the way around and turned his sweater into a belly shirt, like instantly. He's just in there, half his sweater in the grinder, the rest of it just above his belly button. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, so you got
Oh
to be
man,
careful with those things, man. Like,
Dude, I've had one before. It caught the bottom of my sweater and started wrapping up towards my neck, and I was like struggling to turn the thing off. It's like right at my neck. I'm like, holy fuck! It's like a horror movie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like trying to kick the cord, but it's on an extension cord, so it's not coming out. Yeah. It's like, come on, breaker, pop, please. Yeah, don't do that at home, kids.
Yeah, for sure. There's too many ways to get fucked up in a shop, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. And it's funny, I just watched a video on there was a gentleman that runs a machine shop, and he was talking about how AI, people worried about AI taking over and this and that, and he's like talking about how he's using AI to actually design machines that are taking him completely out of the process. And because now he's not part of the process, now he doesn't have to worry about that human interaction with the machine that has a variable to it that can lead to harm, right? You remove that variable and wow.
Yeah. You can't get sucked into the lathe if you're not next to the lathe. So
exactly. Yeah. And it's funny too, because AI in that manner has actually been around for a long time. And you've got all these people hating on AI, like, oh, AI is going to... Dude, what do you think a CNC machine is? You had to program it. You have to program AI as well. AI just doesn't show up to work and do the job for you. You got to program it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a bit of a... People kind of call all kinds of different things AI. Like we call like Chat GPT AI in the same way we call like those programs that are like finding cancer cells in AI. They're not even close to the same thing, but we're calling it all AI. Like it kind of muddies up what's worthwhile and what's just an annoying chatbot that you got to deal with on every website you go on nowadays.
Yeah. It's a vast difference from the idea that it's going to be a humanoid style robot with the ability to think on its own. I think that's the AI we're all really scared of.
Yeah, that's the one I'm personally not too worried. I if we see that in my lifetime, I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
But,
oh, can only hope.
Yeah.
For our children's sake.
Yeah.
Are you cool if we take a quick break? I want to go fill up my cup of coffee.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
All right, man. We'll reconnect in a couple seconds here.
Perfect.
Well, how's your Alberta accent there, bud?
Oh, just fucking right arm. It's right. Fuck. The fucking shop accent, right?
Yeah. It's... I don't know how much, how often people bug me about the Canadian accent thing, and it's like, well, bud, it's, I don't know, it's good. I don't know, it's better than the freaking Midwest accent, that's for sure. Those guys,
yeah.
What they're on to there, but
I remember when I went to Wales when I was like 18, people would talk to me, be like, "Oh, you got such an accent." I'd be like, "What?" Every once in a while, I'll be talking to like some older Welsh guy, and it's like he'll be talking nice and slow to me, and none of it was coming through. But
yeah, I'm so bad with accents, dude. It sucks. I feel like such a dick sometimes when I have to tell somebody to yeah, good old Tim Hortons order window. What did you say?
No,
not a double. Jeez.
Yeah, accents. I sometimes I can pick up on it great, and sometimes it's like, what am I like? I have a hard time hearing people without an accent sometimes. So
yeah. Man, me and you are too much alike. That's weird. That's so weird. Yeah. So I think we kind of gone over. What's the cross peen you were talking about? Is that your favorite hammer?
My favorite hammer is cross peen. Just like I like as far as aesthetics go, I love the like Viking style cross beams where they got that more or less flat bottom and then a
Yeah,
sort of a peak crown right in the center on the eye, and then nice sloped long.
I'm telling you, man, go check out Paul's hammers, dude.
I'll
You'll
have
love
to take a look. Yeah, yeah.
it. How heavy?
So my one, the one I use almost all the time is about 3.5 pounds, I think.
Oh yeah, it's a big
Um,
boy.
I go for a pretty heavy hammer for a lot of things. The one I made for myself was about a pound and a half, pound and a quarter. It's 550 grams, I think, is what I weighed it out to, and that was great for because I like to have a couple hammers there, like a heavier one to rough stuff out, a lighter one for because I do a lot of very small fine work, and if you're trying to use a 3 pound or a 3.5 pound hammer to curl over a little scroll, you're not it's not going to be the best one for it for sure. Like a nice light hammer for that with some nice crisp, not all the way flat, but a little flatter face, nice and crisp with some the face coming close out to the edges. That I like that for like working in small corners, getting knocking all the edges off right into corners.
Yeah.
And then the bigger hammer, a little more rounded out, better for roughing. And then one of the reasons I made sure to get that press is the other hammer I use all the time is a 6 pounder, and that's for when I got to work bigger stuff and I just don't want to be at it all day. And I was surprised by how well I could adjust to the 6 pounder when I started using it. But I also swing a hammer every day, so it kind of it's got its place. It's not an everyday kind of tool, but like when I got to move some material, it makes a difference.
Yeah. Well, um, I used to use a 4 pound hammer. What's the name of the company from Canadian Tire?
Oh yeah,
Fisker.
yeah.
The Fisker 4 pound crosspeen demolition hammer or whatever they call it. I can't remember, but
Hmm.
something about that hammer, just the handle and everything for when I was getting into things was like really what I like to use a lot. It doesn't
Hmm.
have the wood handle that everyone says you need to have as a blacksmith. And over time, that became very apparent to me because when I first started blacksmithing, I really liked wearing gloves. And I still do like wearing gloves, mostly on my tong hand. I'll wear my glove, whereas my hammer hand, I don't like to have the glove on. And that's where it became very obvious that the wood handle's a lot nicer. Just you kind of actually want the hammer to be able to slide in your hand a little bit so that you can reposition your hand on the
Yeah,
handle as needed. Um, and that grip kind of sucks in ways for like even when you're hitting, you almost kind of want your hammer to be loose in your hand in a way.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like a fork. You don't hold the fork until you are actually pushing it through something. Like you're not grabbing it. You don't need to. Yeah, you don't need a death grip on your hammer the whole time.
And
Like,
if you were pushing your fork into something that could possibly deflect your fork in a different direction, you want to have that ease of letting your fork deflect. And the same thing goes on the hammer. If your hammer deflects in some sort of way and you've got that rubber grip, that deflection is going to go into your hand.
absolutely, absolutely. And then yeah, like you said about the having that little bit of slide, like a handle, I find handles like fresh off the like if you buy a box store handle and it's got that clear coat on it, the first thing I
Oh,
do is I take that shit off because that's blister city right there.
totally. Totally.
Yeah,
I 100% agree. Rub a little linseed oil on your handle and
yeah, yeah.
soak the head every once in a while. All my hammers are loose right now, like all of them.
I've got a few loose ones and they're a little bit loose, and I've got some that are like it's always the ones that I haven't put the handle in myself. I those ones I wedge in solid. ones that I buy off the store, or like some of the old hammers that I've like the one 4 pound crossbeam I turned into a texturing hammer. They have some wiggle to them, and it's one day I'll
It
have to just redo a bunch of hammer handles all at once.
it makes I could not figure out why my hammer was not hitting properly. It was driving me fucking nuts, dude. I was like, what is going on? And I picked up another hammer and I started hitting, and I could feel it like right away, the difference between the two hammers. I was like, what happened to my hammers? Like, my handle got a crack in it or something? No, the head is just ever so slightly loose that when you
Oh,
hit, it moves, and you lose so much of that force because now it's not going into the piece. Now your hammerhead's moving from the force instead.
yeah,
So
yeah, for
you're
sure.
losing. Yeah. And it can screw up your intentions too with your blows. You know, if you want that
Mm,
blow to be perfectly downwards, and now when you hit, your hammer tweaks a little bit, well, now you're
yeah,
not
yeah,
perfect blow. That's something I
yeah.
also wanted to bring up too, that I've come to realize with building this power hammer that I'm building right now. And I'm glad that have figured this out too, is that power hammer doesn't have a ton of strength to it. It's probably hitting in the realms of a 10 to 15 pound hammer. It's fast though, is the big thing behind it. But because
Hmm.
it's fast, you can't be as intentional with it as you can with a hand hammer. So it's great for, like, say I want to do veining on a large leaf. Well, I can just run that big leaf through the power hammer, no problem, and put a vein on it, right? And that's
Hmm.
essentially what I built it for. Was this is that alone was
Yeah, yeah.
veining large leaves. Like, how fucked up is that I built a power hammer just for that alone, right?
Honestly, you got, like we were talking about, you got to dial in for what you want to do. Like I think I heard it on here. Like that hammer never gets any lighter. Like if you're swinging it a million times to try and texturize something, get the tool to do the work for you. And sometimes you got to build that tool.
Yep.
I'm excited to see how that hammer works out for you. I'm that's
It's coming
that'll be a
along, man.
handy one for sure.
It's fun. The thing that's not fun about it is it's trying to walk its way out of my shop every time I use
Saw
it.
it moving around on you there for sure. Oh
It's
yeah,
holy fuck. I don't know, man. It's interesting building something like this and seeing it all come into play, and then trying to figure out like where you've gone wrong on things. Like, I don't have an engineering background by education. I guess in trade I do, in a way, because I've been working with engineering for the last, I don't know, 17 years. I've been working with engineers directly. So I've got that ingenuity in a way,
so
I guess.
you're a fabrication welder, hey?
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Same here.
And
That's like,
I work in research and development.
oh,
So
cool.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. So it's like everything that I've done, like I dude, the amount of things that I've had to just figure out. Like
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
my somebody asked me this the other day, what's your superpower? Because your superpower is also your super weakness.
yeah, yeah.
And I said that my superpower, when I was asked that, I had to like bring it up right away. I didn't have time to think about it. I was like, well, I'm a pretty sensitive guy. Like, I'm very like in touch with people's emotions and my emotions, right? Like, if something's sad for somebody, I feel that sadness. And that can suck in so many ways, but it's also why I'm able to produce the art that I'm able to produce, right?
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of emotion in that, right? But
yeah,
I honestly think my superpower is problem solving, and to my detriment, to the point that I look at everything in this world as being a problem and I can solve it. And if you talk to my wife, it's a fucking problem.
ooh, yeah, 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 yeah. I can feel with you there. Like having to try and patch up everything. Some things don't need to be patched up; they need to work themselves out, or other people need to work it
She
out
has to remind
themselves.
me on a constant basis, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's like she will say that phrase to me so bloody often. And it's like, I know, I just can't help it. I want it to be perfect. Like, I know it can't be, but we can try.
Yeah, yeah. That's yeah. Making something perfect is something I had to kind of, especially working for myself, like I can't make, if you're doing production runs of stuff, then you kind of have to balance how perfect it is with your price point and how many you're doing and everything else. And yeah, it's the same thing with the rest of your life. Like you can't, like I was saying, you can't do everything, and you sure as shit can't do everything perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has left me like I'm doing a little bit of reflection on this right now, actually. Like, as a kid, how many times that I said, no, I don't want anything to do with it because I wasn't good at it instantly. And I was like, nope, not what I want to do. I'm not good at it. Screw it. Done. It's like, well, you put a bit of effort into it. You probably could have done just totally fine at it, but no, it's got to be perfect or I don't want it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I can understand that one. I know.
Huh. That's funny too, because my mom has always brought up the fact that like my mom and dad divorced when I was a little kid, and it was a bad divorce, dude. My mom and dad hate each other. Fuck. Like, hate. It's terrible. It's, if I could change anything in this world, it would be that. And not to the fact that they didn't divorce, by all means divorce, but just, oh god, the hatred, you guys.
Hate each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
My parents split, and they've always been civil with each other, which is definitely makes things easier.
Yeah, it's a blessing if you don't realize it. And for those that may be in a similar circumstance, if you're from the realm that I'm from, where your parents hated each other in the long run, then you know what I'm talking about, because you end up being the brunt of it as a kid, right? But where I was going with that is my mom used to always bring up, oh, you're so much like your dad. Your dad had champagne taste. Everything had to be perfect for him. And it's like, why wouldn't you want that? Like, what person in this world is like, meh, I'll just take the shit. Fuck it. Like, I'd rather have the good stuff, dude. I'm sorry. And I'm looking at that with this power hammer build too, is like, the design that I'm building it off of was the Sosa hammer, designed by Christian Sosa down in Oregon, I believe is where he's from. Amazing hammer. Tried, tested, and true. If you're looking for a power hammer, people, by all means, go check out the Sosa hammer. He's got plans. You can buy all the parts and everything. You can buy complete hammers from him. A great thing. But it wasn't exactly what I was looking for in a power hammer. It didn't have a guided ram. So that means that it comes down like a helve. And I don't know, I don't like the helve hammer. I understand that you can adjust it, the heights and everything like that, so that it's always hitting true, but then you're stuck constantly adjusting it. Further thought into that matter, and I was like, well, wait a minute. Maybe that would have been fine, because technically I kind of want this hammer for one specific process only. So had I had to set it up for one specific process, that probably would have been fine, and I probably could have gone with the Sosa hammer design and been fine with it. But now that I've changed it to being the guided ram, kind of opens up some new possibilities for me that I'd like to do. And it's all about trying to perfect it, right? Of trying to get that hammer to being more what I want it to be versus just being happy with what it was. That's really what this is. The problem with that is this want for perfection per se could possibly lead me down a road further away from being perfect, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I can understand. I think if it works out the way you want it to, it'll do the jobs you need it to do, that texturizing. And then you'll also be able to get away with working with other things. And I think I was looking at the design you have for it and how you got to move your guide down a little there on Instagram there. And like, I think once you kind of tweak that and get it working just right, I think it'll do a lot of different jobs for you.
I'm hoping. I mean, it's funny, and I've had some people bugging me about this. Oh, it's not doesn't hit very hard. It's not a very big hammer. It's like I've got an 88-pound Anyang sitting in my overhang.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't need a big hammer right now, you guys. I actually need a small hammer. It's the speed I'm looking for, not the heavy hitting.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the other back in February, I did a batch of about 15 roses and texturing those petals. I spent, better part of a day just tap, 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 tap with like a little 1 pound hammer. Like
I know, dude.
sometimes you just need the hits and not the hard ones. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
you think so that's essentially why I'm building it, dude, is the
yeah,
roses,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
The texture of the roses, and for veining on other big leaves and stuff like that as well. But like, I did a time analysis on the roses, and it was something like 2,500 hits per rose, not per petal, but per full rose
rose.
build.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
2,500 hammer blows. Like, that's insane, dude. If you think
yeah,
about it, for
yeah, for
one
sure.
rose, you're saying you did 16 in one day?
Yeah, and I might be doing a little like I'm doing 3 layers of petals, so it might be a little less, but it's still like
Okay,
a
okay. Yeah,
ton of like it was a lot of hits.
yeah.
And
How are you getting
like
away with doing 3 layers?
so I do my roses fairly small. They're about depending on how tight I curl them up, they're 2.25 to 3 inches wide. So I'll do the first layer is 3 petals, and then the next 2 layers are 5 petals each.
First layer, 3 petals, is a key aspect I picked up recently because you can fold that centerpiece in a lot tighter now that
You
it's
get
three
yeah,
petals versus five,
yeah,
and you get that little bulb in the center instead that
yeah.
way. I was struggling with that when I first started building roses. I was always wanting to give me a cup in the middle, and I was never happy with that. And then,
Hmm,
yeah,
hmm.
going to the three.
The other big tip I have for roses for anyone listening is go with thin material. Like don't
Oh,
try and go
totally.
down to 1/8. Like I've seen a lot of guys take like even like
16 gauge
16
is too
gauge
thick.
kind of stuff. I think it's 22 or 24 gauge. I can't
Right.
remember. I've done roses out of old baking sheets, and that's the sort of thickness that
Oh, even a
like
baking sheet, I would feel like that's almost too thick. Like,
some of them are pretty thin.
if you can't cut the material by hand with a hand shear, it's
Yeah,
too
yeah,
thick.
yeah. If you can't snip it out comfortably with a pair of shears, that's too much. And
Yeah.
then my favorite trick for shaping them is like I'll texture them, I'll hot rivet them onto the stem, and then I will pair of scrolling tongs is my fucking
Yep.
best friend for doing the shaping on those.
The scrolling tongs, I made myself a pair of scrolling tongs using a pair of needle nose pliers, and I just
Yeah,
rounded the end of the pliers to
yeah,
scrolling
yeah.
tongs. And those
The
are my
quickest
favorite
way to do
scrolling
it.
tongs for roses. For larger things, I have an actual pair of scrolling tongs I got that are more heavy duty,
Yeah, yeah,
and I have found that those come in useful for some of my other flowers that are a little on the stiffer side. I'll use those because I do some of the just the 4 petal flowers, like kind of like a poppy, for example.
hmm, hmm.
But those and 16 gauge material, you have to use the thicker tongs for that. You have to. You
Yeah,
can't get away with it.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
where
Getting that
with
leverage.
a rose is delicate, you guys. Like, come on, look at a real rose.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so thin and yeah.
Yeah, think about it like you're bending a few pieces of silk or something. Like it's not, you don't
Uh,
need, if you want to do something big and chunky that's going to be like on a gate and exposed to the elements and exposed to people touching it and pushing on it and stuff, that's when you want to upsize a little bit. But if it's one that like someone's going to put in a vase and give to their girlfriend, go delicate.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And that's why we do this.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I love it, man. That's awesome. Some great info in this so far, you guys. I wanted to bring something up to you. Do you know who Tony Swatton is?
Tony Swatton, I don't.
All right, dude. Okay, I highly recommend go and check out Tony Swatton. You want to see the person that has like the most amount of freaking blacksmithing tools you've ever seen in your life.
Oh,
This guy literally has something like upwards of like 600 different hammers or something like that.
what?
Yeah, he just made a post about how he ordered 30 hammers from a goldsmith in Italy that he's adding to his repertoire of hammers. And like, dude, like this guy's racks of tongs and hammers and shaping tools, like stake tools and stuff like that is just like, but he makes armor and swords for Hollywood. Like
Oh, okay, okay.
he is the guy, dude.
What's
That you see something in the movies, he probably was the one that made it.
what's he go by for a business name? Do you know offhand?
I think, as far as I know, it's just Tony Swat. And
Tony Swan? Okay. Because I
yeah.
can't remember offhand, but I saw this on cruising through Instagram, saw this guy who was making like daggers and maces and stuff for that new Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I think it's called, that new Game of Thrones spin-off. And
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, if I could remember his name.
The Sword and the Stone is the name of his
The
business.
Sword and the Stone. Yeah, I'll be looking him up for
From
sure.
1988 is when he
Oh,
started. I
okay.
gotta get this guy on the
Just a
show.
dare to. Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Oh, but yeah, if you've got like thoughts on adding new tools to your repertoire, this is one of the things I like to do. Is I like to look at all the tools other blacksmiths use through
Oh,
Instagram,
yeah.
through Facebook, and I look at the different tools they're using and say, that one right there, I need that tool. I need that one specifically, and then I go and I make it, or
Yeah.
I reach out to somebody like Paul and I get him to make it for me, or whatever it takes to get that, or is maybe that, there's guys that just make things and it's like, I need you to make that for me,
For
so can
sure.
you make it for me, right?
But once again, CanIron. Nathan from Understory Forge brought his texturing hammer. That little, it's basically like a cross peen and a straight peen, but they're both chisels on the end of a hammer instead of, so they both come to an edge. And it's for like when you're doing a texture where you want to have a ton of chisel marks and you don't even have to worry about the chisel. You can just tap, 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 tap. And I saw that at CanIron. I was like, oh, I'm going to be making one of these. And I finally did. And it's awesome. It's such a
Yep.
good tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a funny aspect on that. A hot cut top tool,
Hmm.
same
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a
Again, that
chisel
was,
point hammer. That's what I use my hot cut top tool as a chisel point hammer all the time.
oh, yeah. 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 For sure. Honestly, a fucking hot cut top tool was the first thing I made after I got back from CanIron.
Yeah.
After working on the sculpture with everybody and just like using so many top tools and striking for people and like seeing what you could do with that, I was like, okay, I am aiming to have like a good full set of top tools so I can work with strikers at some point, because like that was so much fun.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Top tools and bottom tools are like, there's a side to me that believes we're, as a community, not looking at how amazing top and bottom tools are to our repertoire of tools. Like,
Yeah.
we've got, I don't know how many people are screaming, oh, I need a big anvil, or I need a swage block. And it's like, dude, you can literally take a little, go talk to your steel supplier, ask them if they've got a cutoff bin. They probably have a cutoff bin full of chunks of 3-inch thick mild steel. Maybe it's tool steel of some sort, and you can buy little blocks of it for $5-10 and
Yeah.
make yourself a hardy tool.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Randy, I can hear you screaming at me. It's not a hardy tool. The only hardy tool that exists is a hot cut. It's a tool that goes in the hardy. How about that? All right. It's a bottom tools. Yeah, man.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty of that one for sure. I call them all hardy tools, and
It's they're the way I look at it, and I don't want to argue with Randy at all, because by all all due respect, he's been at this for a lot longer than I have, so I think his
Yeah.
opinion counts a lot more than mine does. But and it's just my opinion, right? It's like you, I call them hardy tools as well. It's not the hardy tool, but they are hardy tools. The hardy tool is your hot cut,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just how I've always looked at it. So I
Yeah.
don't know. Call a spade if you want, but I'm also sticking to my guns on that. Kind of. I don't know. Yeah, man. So we've got a good idea of what you do, where you've gone, where you've come from. Where are you going?
I this last bit here, I've been trying to do more, get into playing with more historical materials. So I've got like a decent stock of wrought iron at the moment. One of the projects I've been working on right now is actually I'm taking a wagon tire. So it started off at 2 3/4 of an inch wide, and I've just been spreading it out, and I'm aiming to get 8 inches. It's about 6 3/4 now, and about 1 mil and 1.5 mil for the two pieces. And the guy who's buying them from me, he's gonna shoot arrows at them and like scientifically record all the results, which is super
Oh,
cool.
that
I
is
made
so cool.
Yeah, I made a piece of basically it was like the back quarter panel of horse armor for him last year, and that's something else he's going to do the same thing with. Shoot it, record where it hits, see what effect that curve has on it. He ordered some wrought iron arrowheads, so like kind of more period accurate for like I think it's 14th century is kind of the stuff he's sort of focused on.
Wow.
He ended up I don't know if you know who Lee Sauter is, but he ordered some Bloom, I think it was Bloom steel, the same sort of thing, a sheet of it to shoot at from him.
Huh.
But he's like one of the guys who like brought metal like smelting, iron smelting, like a little more into the community for sure. Like what's the one
Is
the
there
guys
a
like?
way I could get in touch with him?
I'm sure. I know he's got a like the one video on YouTube is like ore to axe, and it's like literally they go from ore to an axe. Like they've got video about smelting hearth steel from the bloom iron.
Do you
Um,
know how I would find that on YouTube?
uh, I am not exactly sure what it's called, but Lee Sauter, Sauder, I think is how you spell it. Um, yeah, but yeah, he's been like I said, he's the source of a lot of information on
Yeah, I found it.
smelting your own iron.
Iron smelting with Lee Sauter, spelled Leesauder.
Yeah,
And the name of the channel is NESM Forged. This is from 9 years ago, that
yeah.
video. And so he's in your area?
No, no. My client had to go reach out because he's down in the States somewhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. So he's down in the States somewhere, and but yeah, it's super cool to be like, kind of tangentially on the same sort of project as someone of that fucking
Definitely.
caliber. It's super cool. But yeah,
Fucking
last fall, I think it was September, I smelted some hearth steel. So I've been saving up the nails and screws and all the other bits of metal from my fire pit in the backyard for like years now. I think his name's Joey Vander Steeg.
yes.
Years and years ago, he put out a thing where he took a bunch of nails and stuff and kind of made his own, not quite wrought iron, but like forge welded it all together into a bar, made something out of that. And that sort of concept has stuck with me for a long time. And so I ended up making a hearth furnace out of just 7 fire bricks. Um, Sun and Stars Forge, Emilio Carrillo. I'm not sure how to say his last name there. He's got some cool videos on YouTube about running hearth steel furnaces. And
What was his last name?
Carrillo, Carillo.
Sweet. I'm dropping some names. I love
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. And then he did a video. I think he did one with Black Bear Forge, who's bigger name for the blacksmith YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, he did another one with Vick, which is like a Viking research group. They do like reenactment, but also like tests of like weapons testing and stuff. So like super cool stuff. But he he ran a smelt with them where they made some. I can't remember if that one was they were making iron or if they were smelting steel. But either way, it's the process itself is fairly simple once you kind of get a grasp of it. You make a very small furnace, your hearth furnace, and then you put iron, low carbon iron, in there. I did about 2 kilograms in 6 charges, so six times. I put 1/6 of it in at a time. Let
Okay.
it burn down a little bit. Shovel more charcoal on. Keep it full of charcoal. Keep the air going, and it sits on a bed of charcoal fines that you put in the bottom and soaks up a bunch of carbon. And so I've
Oh,
got two blooms of it that I made. One from all the like nails and screws and everything, and then another one from all the bandsaw shavings that I had
oh,
from running my
crazy.
bandsaw for like a summer. I work my bandsaw hard,
Yeah. What
but
do you have on those drop
just a
ones?
little King Canada drop bandsaw. Yeah,
Spring assist?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that thing. It's been great. I used it so much that I actually wore out the brass gear in the transmission and had to get a new one.
Wow.
Like
Crazy.
it just kind of stopped working on me one day, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And I pop open the gearbox and just gold fluid coming out.
Crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd love to get into more making some of my own materials more, and I want to get more into engraving and really like
Mm,
put some more art on stuff. Like that's one of my favorite things is like
I can
if
see
I've
you
got a
doing.
surface on something, like I do a lot of chisel work where like one of my favorite motifs is just like put some like kind of gnarly, fairly simple pine trees on there, like
Yeah.
just chisel some art in there.
Have you ever
One of
tried
the
doing any inlay on your dice?
I haven't done inlay yet. That's something I wanna. That's
I can
something
see
else I
you
want to
doing
give a
some inlay
shot.
on your dice with like, mwah.
Yeah, yeah. I've had a couple people ask me about that, and there's a couple. I've got a couple ideas on how I'd want to do that. At
It's when you punch the numbers, you just gotta do like a little bit of extra punching to make the whole.
yeah, to like open up that and then inset something, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
something I think for this is the balance of things is that would take
That
quite
much
a
more
while
time.
and I'd have to charge a lot. Something I've been thinking about doing is just taking my oxyacetylene torch and drip a little bit of copper in there, grind it back flush.
You
So
don't
there's
even you can do it in the
something to
forge.
like just speed up that. Yeah, yeah. Even forge braise it in there. Something to just speed that up. Um, one of my biggest influences in like getting into blacksmithing was an artist in I think he's Czech. He's in Europe for sure. Petr Florianek. He goes by Gullenbursty, and his work is amazing. Him and Brock's works and Blacksmith Thoradin. They did a piece. They did this like dwarven style full face helmet together, and it's just amazing. And I'd love to get into doing some more like really like do just like some of the stuff that I've already been doing, but just like turn it up to 11 on it. Really like
Uh-huh.
make it an art piece. Like if I'm making something, I really want to be able to just like slow down and spend the time on it. And like I was saying earlier, you gotta do the work you want to do to be able to do the work you want to do. And so kind of forcing myself to slow down and like I'll spend some more time on this one. I'll put some more into it rather than trying to focus on trying to focus on just putting stock out as that's been one of my challenges for sure.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Um, I have to say that actually really like hearing your approach to that in ways, because um, one of the things that through studying philosophy and whatnot that has really come to light for me is the idea of putting out to the world your future plans that may or may not be successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your future plans don't really have a fail point kind of thing. Like it's you either do it or you don't kind of thing, right? It's not going to be a matter of like, well, I tried and it didn't work. Whereas like where I'm going with that, like for my power hammer, for example, I'm not going to tell people right now that I'm planning on making these and selling these. I don't. But if it worked out, that it turns out to be this amazing hammer and people keep bugging me about building them, well, maybe I will. But I'm not going to go telling people that I'm going to do that, because if it doesn't happen, well, number one, I feel like a really big dick. And number two, it doesn't exactly shed the best light on me either, as somebody who's like saying, this is what I'm going to do, and then I don't do it, right?
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure, for sure.
I've made that mistake in the past. I've told people, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and then doesn't happen. I'm sure even with blacksmithing, I wanted to have a tire hammer class at my place a couple summers ago. I reached out on the Canadian Blacksmith page and I said,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you guys, I'm interested in hosting a tire building class. I know that there's guys that do this down in the States. I want to know how much interest there is in this, and if there's interest. And there was a lot of people that said they were interested in it, but the reality of it is, and I just did the power upgrade on my shop. Had I not done that power upgrade, there's no way I can have a big group of people here building power hammers. It's just not
Yeah,
possible.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's like full fabrication shop levels of power draw for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
I mean, like, I'm not going to turn around and tell people, and learning a lesson. I'm not going to tell you now either that that's why I did the power upgrade, is that I have plans to eventually have tire building classes. Maybe in the back of my head, that's something that eventually can come to fruition. But right now, it's such an open possibility that I'm not going to tell you that I can or can't do it. I just no,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not gonna. Yeah. Um, hydraulic presses. If somebody wanted me to build them a hydraulic press, well, I've built somebody else a hydraulic press before in the past. It's a possibility. I'm not going to say that I can't do it. I could do it, but it's not really what I want to do either, right? Like that's the other thing. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you've pinpointed that. You've honed in on this is what I want to do. I'm not gonna do these other things that people want me to do, right?
absolutely. I've seen guys get bogged down by doing the kind of jobs they don't want to do, and sometimes you got to do some work that you don't want to do just to make it by, keep the lights on.
Yeah, but
But that
you have
kind of that's a hole you got to pull yourself out of in the end.
yeah. Well, and you also have to be conscious that it's a job you can actually do too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
I had somebody back in the day ask me if I could get a bunch of floor grading done for them. They were building a new shop and they wanted to have floor grates for their drains. And they knew that I was, looking at having a welding business. And they're like, hey, if you are interested in starting a welding business, this could be a job that could help you out. If you're interested in it, and I'll send you information. And I looked at the information, I was like, I can't fucking do that. Like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I'll lose my shirt if I try to do that. I have to say no. I don't want to say no, but I have to say no.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it's the reality of what we do, right?
And that's a lesson if you're going to be in business for yourself. Like, what's your capacity? What can you do? And sometimes the way you find your capacity is by going, oh, I turns out I can't do this. And sometimes it's like, okay, I got this done, but it took me 3 times as long as I'd like. I learned some lessons. Maybe I could do it differently, or maybe I'd just charge way more. Like, yeah, yeah.
It's funny you're saying that, and my brain went to snowboarding.
Mm.
and thinking about how many times I've been like on the edge of a cliff and said, nope, and fucking unstrapped and kicked my way back up. And,
Oh yeah.
or times that I didn't say nope and I got to the bottom and I was like, I should not have done that. Or even times where I've done something and then I look back and I said, oh man, that route would have been so much more fun or more
Mm-hmm.
rewarding, right? And yeah, sometimes it means you have to do it in order to see that path, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You don't see the
absolutely.
path until you've done it.
Absolutely. Especially with what we do, it's some of it's so niche that like
Mhm.
who are you going like if I was to do this even this thing with the wrought iron plates, if say I had a hot rolling mill that could handle up to 8 inches wide, like this would have been like
Done.
heat it up and send it through. But until I get my press like working, I am the power hammer, right? Like it's
But there's also a side to that it's like, and I could be wrong, but the guy that's doing this historical testing, those guys weren't rolling out their wrought iron on mill rolls,
yeah, exactly,
right?
exactly. That's part of why I took it on is because like this is cool. When am I ever going to get the chance to get paid to make wrought iron sheet metal, right? Like I don't know if you can even find wrought iron sheet other than like maybe going to like some of the guys who are reprocessing wrought iron in Europe. And even then, wrought sheet is like probably the least common style I
Yeah,
could think of, right? Like
yeah.
I
I
did a
mean,
little bit of searching before I decided to go like take wagon wheel and flatten it out route, but I wasn't finding
it's
much for sheet at all.
it's kind of become a more common thing now, I would say, with all the guys that want to use it for knives, because there's a lot of guys that use it for sanmai, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But they're also
Even
not
then,
rolling it
like
out 8 inches wide.
yeah, 8 by 8, and like originally he wanted 12 by 12 because like for him the bigger it is, the
The
easier it
better.
is to hit with an arrow. So it's yeah.
If you can't
Sometimes
hit
you
an
gotta
8x square with an arrow, buddy, you need to go take some fucking lessons. Just that was a poke the bear situation there. Um,
Uh,
Historically correct stuff. Something that came up recently that I've shared this with a bunch of people, and everyone that I shared, it was a video that I found on Instagram, I think, and I shared it with a bunch of people, and everyone was like, "Oh, AI garbage," and I was like, dismiss the AI side of it. Listen to the information that's being portrayed in there. Have you heard of tannic acid?
yeah, yeah.
Have you heard of its use in blacksmithing?
Not exactly.
So, this video goes on to talk about how tannic acid used to be like widely used in the metal industry. Like prior to World War I, I think it was just like one of the most widely used chemicals on metal preparation, as an anti-corrosion,
Huh.
um, coating per se. It's not really a coating. So what tannic acid does is tannic acid actually it reacts with iron oxide and transforms into a different chemical, and I can't remember the name of it, but this chemical is essentially part of the steel now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the iron
Like
iron
a
molecules
chemical
binding.
patina
Yeah.
sort of style. Yeah.
Yeah, and it also
Interesting.
gives an anti-corrosion layer because now it's turned that rust layer into its anti-corrosion. So the rust itself is actually now becoming a different layer and it's not rust anymore. And I don't know how far that conversion goes into, if it's a matter of like it like prevents further corrosion under it, because I know corrosion can still occur on it. Now, is that a matter of like the water penetrates it and eventually it starts to create corrosion through it, or is it somehow that the water sitting on it starts to
Yeah,
reconvert that
yeah.
into iron oxide? I'm not too sure, because the video goes on to explain how it does need to be reapplied. It's not a lifetime thing. Very similar to the idea of using the beeswax and turpentine, and what's the other thing you put in with that?
Oh, was it mineral oil probably?
Linseed oil.
Linseed oil. There we go. Yeah, yeah.
Linseed oil, beeswax, and turpentine is like the old blacksmith magic stuff. But apparently, tannic acid was this hugely wide used chemical.
Interesting. Yeah,
Blacksmiths,
yeah.
metalworkers, whatever, world around, until the government turned around and realized that they don't have a way to patent it, because you can get tannic acid from like any type of wood material, any plant material
Hmm.
produces tannic acid. So they didn't have the ability to patent it. And because they couldn't patent it, they were like, "Ooh, we need to bury this information."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Change over to something else.
there's actually lots of chemicals on the market using tannic acid and will literally be labeled as a rust converter. If you look up, like, Rust-Oleum
Interesting.
makes one,
Interesting.
Loctite makes
Hmm.
one. There's all sorts of different companies that make this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy was like, dude, all
Interesting.
it is tannic powder. You can buy a big bag of it for $3 at any like bulk barn, whatever, and you
Yeah.
just mix it in. There's a formula to mixing it with water. And then the other thing that I saw further into this after doing a little bit more research on it is the true formula. I believe it contained like a teaspoon of ethanol in it.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
and then somebody else brought up that I was talking to about this, that phosphoric acid does the same thing. And a little bit further research on my end showed that there's actually formulas including phosphoric acid in the mix as well.
I've
So,
seen some like phosphor coated steel before, and yeah, it's the same thing where it's like a chemically converted layer on it. I know
yeah.
there's another one, and it's common in like a lot of Japanese work where they would basically do a rust conversion, but through heat. And I think a lot of times they would like. I watched a guy do it. He's that like Canadian blacksmith working in Japan guy who's on the internet, and he was doing one where he boiled it. He had it like sat in some boiling water, and that went from like a red rust into a black rust. So it basically converted from that unstable oxide layer that's going to eat into it deeper into a more stable form. So I don't know if it's got maybe another oxygen molecule in there or something. Um,
Interesting.
I love the like science. I love the science, material science kind of stuff of this because it's
Yeah. I'll send you that video then.
yeah, yeah,
Interesting,
cool.
man.
And then I
Cool.
guess back to like the other plans that I've got going on. This April, me and another blacksmith in Edmonton here, Jesse McCullough from Bare Metals Studio, we're doing a hammer-in on the West End. So it'll be April 18th and 19th for anyone in the area or feels like driving out. We're going to try and get some, well, we've already got a couple of demonstrators. Henrietta from Iron Sunset Forge, she's going to do some, she's an Abana instructor, so she's going to do some, I'm not sure what she's going to do yet, but it'll be some like hammer control stuff, I think. Uh, Scott Quinnell is going to do some demos, and he's been at it since like '94, so like almost longer than I've been alive. So he's got a lot of good information. We're gonna try and get a knife maker in here to do some demos as well. Have everyone who wants to bring a forge. We'll have some spaces for that, spaces for people to sell their work and stuff. Basically, we want to do like a little mini CanIron. We're calling it Edmonton Iron. So
Nice.
yeah,
Um, yeah, no, like that's the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild has something like that going on as well. We have I ended up missing the AGM on the weekend. I'm a freaking hoser for that one, but apparently everything is all ironed out as per you know what they need to do or whatever as a group. And the what the hell is it called again? Westman. They have I think that's what they call it. Maybe that's, I don't know. There's a hammer in that happens out in Brandon, and it's happening
Nice.
in June, I think, is when same idea. We
Yeah,
get
yeah,
try to find a demonstrator for it. Everybody can come out. If you want to sell stuff, we set up a little table and stuff.
yeah,
Iron in the
yeah,
hat. Gotta do
yeah,
iron in the hat. Yeah, oh, it's awesome, man. It's
yeah.
great to see that the CanIron lit that fire for
Oh
you, dude. It's so
man,
awesome.
like it hit me hard. Like I got back to Alberta, and I was like immediately like messaging some of the other blacksmiths I know, like because I know Henrietta's, she's in the guild, and I was like, hey, how's like I haven't made it out to the guild. What's it like? Are they doing stuff? Like, they have stuff going on? And she's like, yeah, yeah, it's active, it's moving. So I joined up there, got got myself in on the CanIron planning for 5 years in the future. So it's going to be a long ways off still. But like in the meantime, we've got I me and Jesse were talking at a metal art show that we were both out at, and we're like, we need to do this. We need to get this because like there's the metalwork community is like so good at like I can talk to blacksmiths for like days and days and days straight. Like we got to be able to get in person with each other, right? Like we got to be able to connect with each other, and like meeting up with each other is such an important part of it. And like yeah, it hit CanIron hit me hard. It was kind of a one of the many tipping point. Every few years you get like a certain tipping point, and it's like, okay, you go one way or the other afterwards. And I CanIron was a great experience for me.
That's awesome, man. That's super
Yeah.
awesome. I think the boys from the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild need a big pat on their back, and
Oh yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying there.
They did a great job. They did a great job. They picked from everything from the demonstrators they picked, like everyone they picked was just so fucking crazy good at what they do. The space they were at was amazing, organized great. Yeah, it was a great time.
Yeah,
Great
no,
time.
I really agree, man. It was really amazing to see it all come together the way it did, dude. There's a
Hmm.
lot of work on in the background for that, and I think you're doing the right thing by setting up a couple hammer-ins prior to CanIron. Start
Yeah,
to
dip my toes in organizing, as well
yeah,
as like, the next can iron in Alberta is not for 5 years. I can't wait that long. Like, I got to get something going now. I'm gonna
yeah.
be. My wife grew up in Nova Scotia, so
Oh,
she's been talking about going for a trip back there for forever. So can iron next year, we're gonna be able to. We're gonna make it out and do a combo trips, tour some Nova Scotia, do can iron. That'll be great.
right on, man.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. My wife's got family out in New Brunswick, so
nice. Yeah, yeah.
same idea. Right on, man. Oh, hopefully we get to hang out at CanIron
Yeah,
once
yeah,
again.
yeah. I know. I'm gonna try and be in Manitoba again for the Icelandic festival again this summer. So
Oh, nice.
depending
Come
on
and
how
see
things
me.
go, I might see about swinging through Winnipeg on the way by and see if I can. Because I'd love
Cool.
to get a. I know there's a Manitoba's got some talented blacksmiths there, and I'd love to do a little shop tour. And one thing about blacksmiths is a lot of us, if you just reach out and say, "Hey, I'd love to see your shop," we can show off our shop. We can show off our tools all day.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. No, hey, man, yeah, if you set that up, the guy that I just went and did the video tour of with Forge Side Chat. I don't know
yeah.
if you've seen it yet, but I put the YouTube
I
chat
haven't
up.
seen that one yet, but I'll probably be listening to that later today.
Come and
Yeah,
see his shoot, dude. You will be blown away. So cool.
cool, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right on, man. Hey, let's check out a couple of things that you got hanging on your wall there real quick, if you don't
yeah,
mind.
for sure. So one of the more recent ones I did is this. I had someone, I think it was November or so, was like, "Hey, can you make me an axe?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can make an axe." It was the first time I've done like a proper axe, so I ended up doing two. And then a little while later, I ended up doing like a little batch of pound and a half hatchets. So this one is all made from mostly mild steel, and then I forge welded a piece of spring steel into the edge. So I think you
Nice.
might be able to see if I get it close. You can see the little bit of wedge in there. So the forge welds aren't perfect. And then I did the hickory handle for it myself as well. Did the piece of pine for the axe guard as well.
Oh, that's right. That's very cool.
Yeah. I wanted something that's like sort of within that sort of Viking style. Um, something I've been thinking about a lot lately is trying to make my own sort of stylistic choices, and I think the sort of way I want to go is like, what if some of these historical styles of blacksmith work, what if those sort of like evolved, and like what if I modernize that, what if I kind of add in my own sort of experience. Be like I'm a journeyman welder as well. I've been welding since I was 16. I've been doing fabrication work forever. Like I kind of want to bring bring more of my own work into like some historical styles of making things, and just kind of see where that lands me.
I hear you.
Which is yeah. I find it's interesting because like some people have told me like they can look at some of my work and like see the style of what I make, and like they look at my work and they go, oh, I know whose that is, but like it's harder for me to like
Yeah.
feel like I've got an evolved style compared to like some of the blacksmiths that I follow, and I see their work and their stuff is just like very crisp and or not always crisp, but like very, they know exactly what they want to be making is what it feels like. Whereas a lot of times I'm kind of working my way around. Um, some of the knives I try and do in like that sort of Viking style.
Yeah.
The carving on this one is very much inspired by Gullenbursty, Peter Florianek. Um, and then
Who's that? Sorry.
Gullenbursty. That's one of the guys I saw you writing his name down earlier.
Yeah.
Peter Florianek. He's out of, I think he's a Czech guy, Czech Republic.
How do you spell that? Because I tried to spell it.
TR FLOR IANEK.
What a name! Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, his stuff is, I think it was about 2014 or so, maybe a little earlier. I was looking at, like, I've been following him for a long time online, and his stuff is amazing. And really one of the driving things that was like, hey, I want to do work like that.
Yeah.
Like I want to get it, like one of my big inspirations for sure. Something I did a little while ago. I don't know if I can get the light on here. This guy is actually blister steel. So that blade started out as wrought iron from a wagon rim. And I put it in a canister with some. I used some leather to kind of space it out because has carbon in it, and then I filled all the voids with a mixture of crushed up Tums and charcoal powder, and then I almost seal welded it, left a little bit of a gap for the expansion, and just stuck it in the forge for about 4 hours. And the carbon, it basically, I case hardened it all the way from the outside and hopefully all the way into the middle, which is how a lot of like one of the many like historical ways of turning something from iron into steel.
Right.
And it didn't get like a super high carbon steel. Like it's probably a little softer than spring steel, but it's definitely, you can tell the carbon's gone into it. Like it's harder under the hammer, and it sparks way more.
Crazy.
But a lot of those historical techniques, like they're inconsistent. There's a lot of like feeling them out. It's, I try and ground myself in the science of it, but it's, once it comes to working on it out in the forge, like a lot of it's just feel and messing around, figure it out. Cool, that worked well enough. Cool, that worked terribly, and now I know what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, you're still young, so you've got the ability to play around with things for a while still before you get to a point where you kind of realize time is limited and it's enough screwing around and make the
Exactly.
mind you, the screwing around never. I don't think, hopefully, never ends because you watch guys like Black Bear Forge and they're still screwing around these days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. He's been figuring stuff out, trying new things, and if the day comes where I'm not, where I think I've learned it all, and I think I'm done trying new things, like okay, that's probably about it. That's probably about it for me. Like if I'm not learning anymore, then I think I've landed myself in the wrong position in life.
Yeah, and I think maybe that's why guys like us lean on blacksmithing is the ability to learn it all is not going to happen.
Exactly. There's always going to be more to learn. Like when I was a kid, like young, I'd be on the internet. Like if you ever saw anvilfire.com, they had
No,
like uh, people would upload like step by step, like here's your drawing of a square bar. Then they'd have the next step, they draw in the taper. Next step, they draw in everything else, and like from everything from like how to make a railroad spike, how to do twists, how to do like a garden gnome kind of thing, like all
does that
kinds of stuff, as well as just like a lot of uh, just like information about like what swage blocks are, what they're used for, different styles of uh, anvil, all kinds of stuff.
does
And so like
does that
right from a
website?
young age, I was like looking at like, and like the website still looks like it's out of the like early 2000s kind of
No,
thing.
it's still there if I wanted to go check it
Yeah,
out.
I haven't been there in a while, but I bet you you'd still be able to find it.
What was it again?
Anvilfire.com.
Anvil Fire.
Anvilfire.com. Yeah, yeah. That one definitely like at the time was one of the best places online for finding any kind of information about blacksmithing, and it was put like put up by a lot of people with a lot of passion to really share the craft. So like right from the very beginning for me, like blacksmithing has never been something I've seen people like gatekeep. There's no one like, oh, here's how I do something, but I'm not going to tell you. Like you go figure it out yourself. Like people have always been like, oh, you want to learn how I do something, like how long do you got, how in detail can I get with this, right? Like that's the approach I take, is like when people ask me how I do something at a market, it's like, do they want the quick answer, or do I get to like let loose and really like tell them exactly how I do it?
I've been a big fan of Jason Ellis for a very long time, professional skateboarder, has done podcasting. He had a podcast on XM radio that I was a huge fan of, and he was in town recently, so I decided to make a rose and gift him a rose.
Oh,
As soon as I handed it to him, he was like, "Dude, this is amazing! How did you make this?" And I was like, instantly like, uh, well, I don't know. I'm a blacksmith, man. That
yeah,
was
yeah,
about the
yeah,
explanation I gave.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's like, yeah, like, would you want to sit down for the next half an hour and I'll go over it with you?
Yeah.
It's such
How
a
much time do you have? Yeah,
That's such a tough question to answer.
yeah.
Uh, that's awesome, man. Shit, yeah, dude. I don't know, man. It's been 2.5 hours here. So, is there anything else you wanted to go over real quick here before we call it quits?
Oh,
Or
I could talk all day here, but eventually we got to call it. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head here I want to add in. It's been great being on here. Like I think you're doing a fucking awesome thing with this. Like I
thanks.
said, the amount of people who I can just listen to them talk about the thing that they're most passionate about for hours and hours, and like talking about what they really love to do, and it's in the same vein as what I'm doing. Like it's great.
Definitely, man.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I really appreciate you asking me on the show here.
Uh, Man, my appreciation that you're willing to do it, dude. Like, I know I'm taking you away from precious time in your shop right now. You could be out making money right now, dude. So I
It's
appreciate.
easy decision for me for sure. Like you're like, hey, do you want to be on the podcast? And I was like, oh fuck, you just got to say yes, and like some things you just can't think them through too hard, otherwise you get in your own head. And
Well, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
yeah,
And I'm sure everybody listening appreciates that you decided to give us your story and inundate us with some of the amazing information that you brought to the show, dude. Because you brought a lot of information. I don't know how many names you dropped, different techniques and ideas. It was a great episode, dude. Very well.
yeah. Thanks again for having me. And like, yeah, it's been great to. It's always great to chat with blacksmiths, man. Like we're the kind of people who just don't shut up. So
Oh yeah, no, for sure,
yeah.
bud. Yeah, okay.
And again, if anyone wants to chat with me in person, April 19th, 18th and 19th, going to be doing a hammer in on West Edmonton. Feel free. I'll talk your ear off all day. No problem.
Nice. Yeah. Actually, yeah. One other thing too. I know that Thistle Rock Forge has 2 openings remaining right now for a hammer-in clinic with David Kasprick from Red Cod Forge. They're looking at doing forming with tubing. I'm pretty sure is what David's going to be teaching. That's from April 3rd to 5th at Thistle Rock Forge on Salt Spring Island, just outside of between Vancouver and Victoria.
Yeah.
If you're interested in that, reach out to Jerry Sparshoe at Thistle Rock Forge and see if he's got a spot still available for you, because he has 2 spots available right now. So
that's where you did that class that
with Peter
Braspinix ran. Hey, yeah. That'd be
I would love to be there again this year, but I really can't even. I have no idea what's going on right now to be able to make plans for that. Unfortunately, it's a long story, but yeah, I'm in limbo, so not happening as of now. That could change. We'll see. But maybe I'll take up one of those spots. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to be able to. It seems like the coast has just so many good blacksmiths out there.
Oh, dude, yeah, yeah. If I can make it, I'll drive and stop and see a bunch of people on the way there and on the way back. But yeah, it's to be determined at this point.
Yeah, let me know next time you're swinging through Edmonton. Feel free to stop by at the shop here too.
Yeah, for sure, bud. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to try to edit that out. Yeah, that's great episode, dude. Just stumbling on words now. Like,
talking for 2.5 hours is it'll get you there for sure.
Yeah, it definitely. I don't know. That's why I try to keep it at 2 hours, but man, sometimes you just can't help but continue going, right? And look at us.
I know.
We're trying to say goodbye. It's like the classic Canadian goodbye. Eh?
Oh man,
just gotta fucking do it.
I was at Scott Quinnell's shop there and touring around, seeing some of what he has, and we kept going to like, hey, well, we better get out of here soon. He'd be like, oh, look at this one other thing, and then we'd be another half hour and be like, okay, we probably should get going, and then, oh, by the way, I got 3 of these over there. Why don't you want to take a look at them right before you go? Like, okay, yeah, no problem. And then another half hour, and then it was like,
oh, hey, do you happen to know so-and-so? Oh, yeah, dude, I'm actually related to this guy who's related to that guy. And, oh, no way, you're part of the family. Come in for dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it, man. Well, keep up the good work, dude, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah, you too.
Until then, coo-roo-coo-coo-coo-coo.
God day.
Awesome. Bye.
Yeah. See ya.